Hello, faithful listeners, and welcome to All Hail the King, a podcast where we delve into the mystic, mysterious, and often macabre world of Stephen King adaptations. My name is Joe, and I'm joined by my co-hosts Garen and Viv. On this episode, we're heading to Chamberlain, Maine, where there lives a telekinetic girl named Cassie.
It's Carrie!
It's a new year.
It is a Happy New Year. It feels like
Happy New
ages
Year,
since we
everyone.
did the last one.
We did this
Happy
on our
New Year.
last podcast, so we're already over it. But Happy New Year.
Happy New
Okay,
Year.
wow.
Wow. Now we can talk about... I feel like New Year's resolutions for this podcast is different from the ones for our other podcast.
That's true.
Because I can't even remember what I said on First Time Flyers. I think it was something like, not fuck up any audio.
Oh, yeah.
Which, to be fair, is a good resolution.
Yeah.
What would your New Year's resolution podcast-wise be, Garen?
Probably not to let Joe fuck up the audio.
I'm gonna go 3 for 3 here and join in on that.
That's fair. My New Year's resolution is just going to be to not burn out on Stephen King. I've tried
That's
now.
a fair point.
Yeah, I will say, because I'm going to continue doing the thing where I read every book. And over Christmas, I got quite ahead. I'm like 3 episodes ahead now in terms of books. So I'm enforcing a stop on myself to like read some other authors for a month, because otherwise I feel like I might burn out.
Yeah.
But
well, if you do feel like you're a little bit burnt out, like sometimes like we can just stretch, like we're doing like Carrie, and obviously next time we'll be doing more Carrie.
We've planned around it enough where I'm sure it'll be fine. So I can't imagine I will, but I guess rather than framing it negatively, my New Year's resolution isn't like, oh, negative, I don't want to burn out. It's just to explore other authors as well as Stephen King.
That's a good way
Like
of
Joe
framing
Hill.
it.
Yeah.
Like
Joe Hill, yeah.
Or Richard Bachman.
His new book is fucking massive. I sent you a picture
King
of that,
Sorrow?
didn't I? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah, we saw it yesterday. No, yesterday. Yeah, was it yesterday?
Did you
Whenever
see it?
we were in Waterstones.
Yeah, you saw it in Waterstones, did you? I saw I think I sent you a picture, didn't I? I went to that bookshop in Bath that had like a signed copy, and it was massive.
Yeah. But do you know they don't have them in those independent bookshops?
What?
They don't have the cube.
No,
true.
they don't. Garen has possessed the cube, and it has been...
Yeah, no, this
Delightful.
cube is great. I just want to give a shout out to Marcus and to Basil, the latter of who is probably listening to this and has now got a big smile on their face. Yeah, this cube is amazing. I love this cube.
Why aren't you holding it right now?
I can't remember if it's in my
I am
bag
kind
or
of
if it's in my
sad.
pocket.
Yeah,
Because I feel as though that'll be a
I've
good
got the
fidget toy to
cube
have on it.
somewhere.
that is a good fidget toy for the
It's
podcast.
probably in
actually.
my coat, which is over there.
Yeah, it's better than me, like, I don't know, picking up my nails or some shit.
I remember
Yeah.
once I was fiddling with a hanky the whole time, and you got really mad at me. That was like very early days.
I
Was
do
that?
remember that.
Oh, it's because you were, like, tearing it up, and it was, like, getting over it. You're like a child.
Do you remember that time Joe was just like... it might have even been the last episode we recorded where he was just kicking the stand.
Yeah, you were.
Okay, yeah, that's okay.
We need to like strap you down. We need to put you in a straight jacket and stick you to the fucking wall.
Coco takes after me. When a Coco fucks shit up, it's just like I'm also like that sometimes.
You're a bad influence.
I am a bad influence.
But we all fuck up from time to time.
Yeah.
Well, except for me and you.
Yeah, exactly. Go on. I'm glad you couldn't see that because that was in itself a fuck up. But we. But
No. We're cutting this out. Cut this out.
Okay, that's
Okay,
fine.
good.
But you're not alone in reading this one. So.
Yeah. It's interesting because I've read Carrie. Probably, it's one of the books I've read the most because I read it last year as well because it was originally going to be the first thing we covered before we realized how extensive that would have been.
I
to
know you
start.
two really wanted to do Carrie to start with, and I think I was the one kind of pushing back against it. Like, do we really want to blow our proverbial load?
Thing is, it kind of makes sense. I remember early days someone said to us on Reddit maybe of like, why aren't we doing them in order? So it would have made sense to do like Carrie first. It's the first one.
It would have set up
like,
wrong expectations though, because then everyone would think it would go chronologically.
Exactly.
Also,
And
there's just a lot and
there
a lot
is
of
a
depth
lot.
to cover.
I mean,
And I'm already scared that I'm going to fuck up because there's like so much to say about this.
you said you've read a bunch. I've read like a full book about and a different adaptation of Carrie that we will talk about today, but isn't even the main one we're focusing on.
No.
Just because it is so extensive, which, it makes sense. It's Stephen King's first book.
Yeah.
So it's bound to...
Is this
very
his most
cultural.
adapted?
Most adapted? Probably, isn't it?
Maybe by the end of the year it will have been.
If it's not now. I mean, when you think about it, so we got Brian De Palma, the 2002,
2013. The Mike
Flanagan's one that's coming out.
There's the we're not covering this one. We might do these at a later point. But I did bring up to you the other day that there's a foreign language one. I think it's Filipino or something.
And you could count the musical. You could even split that into two because it was two different adaptations.
Yeah.
And from that, I'll explain it all later. But when we talk about
Dairy
the musical,
Girls episode.
it's definitely the
Just
most
like
referenced ones.
yeah, one of the biggest
Yeah.
reference ones. Maybe other than like
There's
maybe
play
this and
productions. Yeah. I feel like it is more culturally relevant now, only because like the It remakes brought Pennywise kind of back into the pop culture.
yeah,
But
and also Stranger Things.
and yeah,
is,
Stranger
like,
Things is
borrowing heavily from it.
yeah. Whereas like, but even then, there was
which is also borrowing from Stranger Things. It's like an
it's
or,
Ouroboros.
Yeah.
and
It's funny
Finn
you,
Wolfhard is the snake.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that because the actress, I can't remember her name, who plays Beverly in It Chapter 1.
Millie Bobby Brown.
No,
Yeah.
she's a good actress.
Sophia Lillis.
It is Sophia Lillis,
Yeah,
is it?
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, Sophia Lillis, who was in It Chapter 1, was in the Netflix series I'm Not Okay With This, which is
it's a
rip-off,
Yeah.
for lack of a better word.
it's like
of
an
Carrie.
adaptation in itself, isn't
It is an adaptation. It's just the guy who made it went on to say, like, oh yeah, it's completely original when it's like my guy, you got telekinesis girl killing people at prom. Like, you got to at least admit the similarities.
yeah.
But
In that
you know,
case, should we account my year 6 prom as an adaptation? That happened.
yeah,
Did you do it?
Did a girl
No.
Or
play
did you
what?
get killed?
No, I got killed.
Aww.
Yeah. It's okay. I came back.
Oh, that's awesome.
Have you ever been to a prom? Because
No.
our schools didn't really do them.
No, ours did it. We just didn't go. We stayed behind them.
There was a year
and got
10 one.
shit-faced.
Yeah, there was a year 10 one, but I mean, like, we didn't have an A-level prom or anything.
Yeah, well.
And yeah,
the
year 10 one, we didn't go.
Yeah.
I remember talking to you the other
Yeah,
day
you
on
that's-
New
yeah,
Year's
you
about
told
prom,
us,
and I
yeah.
was just like, I didn't really enjoy it all that
Yeah.
much.
Did you go to it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, you died. I forgot. Sorry.
Yeah,
No, that was like my year 6 like primary school prom.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
Oh,
tux
okay.
and everything.
I don't think primary school did anything for us.
No, it was great. We had like the little like slivers of pizza. We had juice
Ah.
boxes.
Oh, and I
They
just
played Black
know,
Eyed Peas on the dance floor.
you just know those
was
teachers paid
tearing
for
it
that
up.
out of pocket.
They
as
should have
well.
done that in this Carrie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sadly, Will.i.am was not alive yet. He probably was. I don't know how old he is.
I don't know, actually.
Who's
But-
your favorite Black Eyed Pea?
I'm
Fergie.
Fergie.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Sorry, we like women.
Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, on brand for the
Now
Carrie
you two
episode.
need to. Now you two need to like
That's
high
me
five.
way harder with way further away.
Well, you can move the microphones. It's fine.
I guess.
Nah.
Yeah, that's fine.
We'll high five later.
Okay,
We'll find something.
I'll
to
do it
high
on
five.
our
I'll
own
carry
time.
the high five for you, but I might.
Actually, you know what? If I give you a high five, you give it to Joe on my behalf.
Okay,
Yeah.
go
Okay.
for it.
Thanks for the hat.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's a good hat.
Yeah,
I'm
Joe
glad
got
you're
me a
wearing it
hat.
to
for
record.
My
Christmas.
New Year's resolution is to spend more time with my friends because I clearly don't do enough of it.
My New Year's resolution
Right.
is not to be interrupted in the middle of me saying something on the podcast.
Oh yeah.
On the topic of that, you could kill this if you want. My New Year's resolution is also to not accidentally be rude because I feel like yesterday on what you were
Well,
saying.
you've already
Viv,
fucked
well, I
up.
know. I feel like I was rude as fuck yesterday when we were like trying to decide what to do, and I was like, I feel like I've seen you both way too much. I feel like it's really rude. Like I said, I was just immediately tired because we had just eaten,
Yeah.
so I apologize.
No,
for not
no,
spending
that-
time
I
with you
thought it
both.
was-
Oh, is that why you bitched me 5 minutes ago?
I think we should start a third podcast.
What? Without me?
No, but now that
Well,
you
that's a good idea. Viv,
That
let's do
does
that
make
audio
sense, I guess.
Video Nasties podcast.
Yes.
So we'll have 4, just every pair, and then a middle one
Yeah.
Yeah.
of all of us.
We do actually. I do really want to do that video now.
Yeah, no, I would. I'd
Do you want to
to
do it this year?
We can start this. Yeah,
We'll do it more cash.
Yeah.
It'll be more just like what we're throwing on.
we can do
Yeah,
it like I don't know, like once a month or something.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
Okay, then stay tuned for that.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh,
cool. Happy
sorry,
New Year.
you're in the middle of an admin meeting right now.
Yeah,
I didn't do this for Doctor Sleep. I mean, I did do it. I just didn't tell you two about it. I
Yeah,
don't think I
yeah.
showed you till afterwards. So while I'm able to remember, I once again drew the logo, and I'm really happy with how this one turned out.
Let's see.
Ooh,
Oh, look at those little
that's
marks.
good.
That's very soul pass.
Yeah, I spent more time doing that than on writing my notes.
That's fair.
I joke, but
I like how you put the films of Brian De Palma underneath
yeah,
as a good memory.
I mean, I do
Oh,
it
yeah.
on the next page for like all the other people who work on the movie. So I thought might as well do it for Brian De Palma, even though I know like what
Yeah.
he's done.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and talk as thoroughly as I can about Brian De Palma, but oh my god, you ever just like start doing some research on a thing and you just uncovered a rabbit hole of
Yeah.
just like so much interpretation?
Yeah.
You were chipping at the iceberg.
I
when you
am
realised.
underneath the AIDS iceberg.
The what? Oh, right. I thought that was a Brian De Palma reference, not a us reference.
No, that's a Nicholas Rogue reference.
Yeah, okay.
A
Okay,
rogue
I'm-
Nicholas Rogue reference.
Look up that PSA; it's really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this will be really fun. But yeah, we both read the book on this one.
Yeah. What's like your history with Carrie? Do you remember like finding out about it? Because I have a very distinct history with like the story of Carrie.
Mine wasn't that distinct. When I first watched it, I don't remember liking it that much.
No?
To be quite honest, I didn't get Brian De Palma at that point.
Fair.
I didn't understand what he was trying to go for with this sort of thing.
Do you remember how? Sorry, you finished.
Yeah. Good
I
job.
thought you were finished.
He's listening to his New Year's resolution.
Yeah, nice one. And then I saw the remake. I was like, wow, this sucks ass.
Yeah.
Then there was like a very large gap of time. And then I watched Carrie again after COVID. I think. And it just clicked and I was just like, holy shit, this is incredible. And it's become one of my new favorites in general. I love Brian De Palma's work. So I'm very excited to just kind of talk about it, but I don't have that much personal history with it other than just kind of a fondness to it.
Fair.
It'll be interesting coming back to like actually discuss it now.
Yeah. When I say personal history, it's more so I remember like because I've gone over me finding out The Shining and kind of like how I slowly discovered Stephen King. And Carrie's the first one where I think I fully understood like, okay, I know who this man is now. So it was when the remake came out, and I've got in my hand the movie tie-in cover with Chloe Grace Moretz for the 2013 one. Because I bought this in a little bookshop in Spain when we were out there at one point, and it was the first time I'd read it. So it would have been 2012, 2013. That was when I fully then understood, like, oh, okay, I know who this guy is now. This is the guy that wrote The Shining before. And I remember watching the remake first. I'm very excited to revisit it. And then from there, but a story about this. I said about how my dad scared me with The Shining. He didn't with Carrie.
And your mother scared you with this one.
That would have been
You
wild.
will get periods.
No, so
very patriarchal.
When I bought it, my dad was like, "Oh, the film of that is terrifying." And I was like, "Oh, really? Okay." And he fully just spoiled the ending. He was just like, "Yeah, at the end, she's dead, and her hand shoots out of the ground and grabs the girl." It's like, okay, I don't know if I fucking that makes no sense to me.
I mean, they should go without saying, but just it's a new season, it's a new year. Just need to reiterate, we are just going to be talking about spoilers.
Oh yeah, spoilers for Carrie.
But, I mean, that's kind of a given.
Yeah, but yeah. So I've read it like 3
So you've at least been
times.
aware for the ending.
Yes, for a while. No, it wasn't long after that I ended up watching it.
You hadn't already seen Deliverance at that point?
I still haven't seen Deliverance now. Yeah, so it's definitely the Stephen King thing I think I'm most familiar with.
Yeah.
I think I've read it 3 or 4 times because I read it last year when I thought we were going to be doing it first. And I remember struggling the first time reading it because, I mean, I was like, what, 12? And I've grown to really appreciate the style. I think having read some of King's later stuff, going back to it and the story behind it is just so fascinating to me.
We'll talk more about it when we actually talk about the book, but it's quite different than what I was expecting.
Yeah, fair. We'll go into it. But before then, Garen, what about you with like history with Carrie?
So I definitely seen like some images or like references in pop culture.
Yeah.
I know
is there a Simpsons parody of it? There must be.
Like in my head, I always thought there was like a picture of Lisa like covered in blood.
Yeah.
That seems like something that happened, but I think I must be conflating a memory. I do remember a Simpsons joke where Marge says, we watched Carrie and we turned her off right after she she was prom queen. I thought it was a sweet movie. No, I remember I was in the cinema watching Kick-Ass 2, also with Chloe Grace Moretz, and they showed the trailer for the Carrie remake, and I was like, okay, that looks interesting. So I watched this one. That was the first time I've seen it. I think that's the only time I'd seen it before we'd recorded this. I remembered liking it, but then I didn't end up going to see the Chloe Grace Moretz one. I was just like, well, I kind of know.
Have you still not seen it?
I still haven't seen it, no.
Oh, so this will be interesting.
I was just like, I would have been 15 at the time. I was like, well, I kind of know the story now. I'm going to use that money for something else. And I ended up spending that money on Hunger Games Catching Fire, which I'd already read the book of, but, it was of the time.
It was that's the most 2014 story there ever was.
I'm sure when we watch...
Also, I went for a Nando's beforehand, which was pretty nice.
I'm sure when we watch the Chloe Grace Moretz version, I might be wrong. Maybe it's better than I remember. Maybe I'll think more fondly of it. But I'm sure you will be thinking, oh, I'm glad I saw Catching Fire instead of this. But I'm saying that as
I really like Catching Fire.
Exactly, I'm saying that as a Catching Fire fan.
Yeah.
I think that movie's fantastic.
But yeah, this is like a big one. This
It
is like
is.
his first big adaptation. Probably
First
the
book,
catalyst of like his stardom.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's what started his career. Just
I mean,
right,
you know, I think he would have reached this level of stardom regardless, considering his later works. But this is definitely like a huge proponent of like, this is Stephen
just
King,
like
everyone.
straight, just like straight out of the gate.
Yeah.
Like it's just like it's one of the big ones.
Would he still be as revered if he like came out of the gates with, I don't know, Cell or?
Well, it's
I
interesting.
can't really see many of your books now because you've
I'm
rearranged
sorry,
them.
I've removed them. Yeah, I had to. I was spoiled for Christmas, and I
Yeah,
got given like 8 Stephen King books.
you'll
which
see
is
them
fantastic.
on the Instagram. I haven't posted them yet, but
That's okay, yeah.
I will.
But I do have a nice little Stephen King corner now, where like I've got my VHSs and books lined up. But yeah, when you think about like, King's early career, I know we've talked about it because we talked about Salem's Lot and The Shining. But fucking hell, like
I know.
banger
damn.
after banger.
Yeah.
I'd be interesting to see, like, obviously because we're not doing them in order.
When do they get bad?
I was going to say which one, because obviously I don't like Bag
What
of
was
Bones
his
and
first
Cell.
stinker?
Yeah, Bag of Bones was 97, wasn't it? And that's like
Yeah.
the one my least favorite. So I want to find one before Bag of Bones that sucks
Yeah.
and see where we go from there.
Or I guess I'll find out.
Yeah, but
Yeah. I mean, we know one of them is a coked up fever dream he doesn't remember writing.
and I can
So-
see it from here.
We'll get to that one soon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be fun.
Yeah. Should I tell you about the history of the book? Because I do find it really interesting.
Yeah, go for it.
Can you please give me my notepad, which I fully left over there?
Yeah, with your matching pencil.
Yeah.
It's the color periods.
It is. That's why I chose it.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. Why not?
I genuinely did choose it because I was like, oh, Stephen King, red, makes sense. That's why the first time
Red.
flyer ones is black, because it's like they didn't do a yellow one. It's like, that's the
It's like the
logo.
black box of a plane.
Yeah, that's way cooler than what I thought. Here we go.
Is this going to be a full origin story of Stephen now?
Oh, fuck, I should have been just like, King was born.
Yeah,
That's true. I guess we've just never really gone into like that side of things.
yeah.
Maybe...
Because
I
it
don't know.
isn't the first book he's written.
No, well,
No, it's
Long Walk was the first full-length novel, and then
Yeah.
there was short stories beforehand. And I do talk about some of that in this.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess, I don't know, when would we ever do a full biography?
Oh, well.
Maybe next week, because we're not talking about the book as much, because
Well,
we've already covered it in this one.
I was talking to Joe about this
Yeah.
recently.
Oh, yeah.
Um, I think that we got a way of doing that, but that's something like further down the line we can pursue. Yeah.
But yeah, so I won't go into too much about, like, his life prior to his writing, but I'll go for it. So,
Okay, go for it.
when King started writing Carrie, he lived in a trailer in Herman, Maine, with his wife and his 2 children. He was working as an English teacher at Hampton Academy, and he was writing short stories for men's magazines in his off time. I just want to mention, I got a lot of this information from King's book on writing.
Okay.
It's a very fascinating book. Great book. Semi-autobiographical, semi-like writing instructions, but even then, the instructions are like,
I can
how
see-
he writes is so interesting.
Yeah. When do you think he'll adapt that?
Maybe
Just like a movie of him.
that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, just like a little slideshow. That'd be
I
awesome.
mean, I guess it would fit well with a documentary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At some point, we're gonna get like a biopic about Stephen King, aren't we?
Yeah.
Probably when he passes.
Like Bohemian Rhapsody stuff.
God.
Come on, Brian Singer. Get him back.
So, Carrie was going to originally be one of these short stories. He didn't
Okay.
intend it to be a full novel. Obviously, by this point, he would have written a full novel in The Long Walk, but that sat to the side. He didn't plan on doing anything with that yet.
That was Richard Bachman. That wasn't him.
That's true. I was trying.
So, could you erase that?
Whoops. Shh. Fine. So, King got the idea for Carrie from 2 different thoughts he had that he ended up combining. The first was he thought of a girl getting her first period and not knowing what it was and thinking she was dying. And then he tells a story about how he wanted the other girls to throw tampons at her, but he couldn't stop thinking about how his brother taught him what tampons were when he was a kid, and his brother always called them pussy plugs. I just want to mention. But he wanted Carrie to fight back in this situation. He just wasn't really sure how she would. Until he later then read a report on telekinesis developing in adolescence. Which, it was like the 80s, like 70s. What else were you going to do?
Yeah.
There was no like TikTok. He had to do other things.
No, he would have written about manifesting instead.
Yeah. So particularly that report particularly spoke about young girls and their periods and how like that was when it would trigger. Obviously, it was a lot of pseudoscience bullshit, but like
I mean, we don't
you got
know
the
it's
idea.
not true.
That's true, actually. Never know. So from then, he wrote the first 3 pages, and then comes the infamous story. You might have heard about how he then... Yeah. Did you know the story?
Although he threw it away, and then his
so-
wife was like, hold on, there's
on. Yeah, so...
So, okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Picture the scene. In the trailer, he throws away, I'm done with this!
Yeah.
Who plays his wife? Shelley Duvall. And then she comes in, she's like, no, Stephen, this is beautiful. I hate it! And then he picks it up.
Who plays Stephen?
Bryan Singer. No, Kevin Spacey.
Oh, God.
Young Stephen, Ansel Elgort. Old Stephen, Kevin Spacey.
Set in Tel Aviv. Sorry, Gary.
So the story of...
When you eventually edit an episode, I'm gonna go off the cuff.
It could be worse. This is so far not as bad as the Arrow episode.
That doesn't mean it's good.
Okay. So the story of King binning the first few pages and Tabitha King reading them is famous to the point where, like, I feel like anyone with a passing interest in Stephen King or Carrie as a story kind of just knows that. King's issues with why he binned it mainly stem from the fact that he didn't feel quite comfortable writing teenage girl characters, which is really interesting because we've spoken in past episodes about how, like, most of his protagonists are men.
Yeah.
So it's interesting how, like, this early in his career and what would then start his, like, actual career as a writer was writing outside of his comfort zone.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he also said about how little he empathized with them, particularly with Carrie and Sue, where he was writing these horrible things happening to Carrie, and he just kind of didn't care about it. He just couldn't connect with her. So Tabitha actually went on to help him with the general characterization of the girls. So you can imagine her being like, him saying this to her, and her just being like, well, I'll help you with like the girl side of things. So King found Carrie as a character in the memory of 2 of his peers when he was younger. So he on writing, he refers to them as Tina and Sandra, so I'll just use the same names just for ease. King knew Tina in elementary school, and she was a shy and isolated girl who was bullied a lot. Seemed to be maybe kind of a poor background, wore a lot of the same clothes, and yeah, just a very shy girl. And Sandra lived near King with her single mother, and at 16, King helped her mother move furniture into their house, and he saw a huge cross in their living room, and that left quite an impression. And unfortunately, Sandra was also quite the outcast. King said it's because she dressed strange, but also because she suffered from seizures.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's tragic.
And it is very tragic, because sadly, both the girls died quite young. Tina took her own life, and Sandra died of complications during a seizure, both before they were 30.
Oh, damn.
So you can see how, like, yeah, and no wonder King then finally began to empathize with Carrie a little bit. When he started putting, like, those girls' histories into her. So yeah, the first draft of Carrie was only 98 pages, and it was just a novella, and King still didn't like it. He never thought it would be successful because he just didn't see it as marketable, possibly because his other stories were published in men's magazines.
Yeah.
And he thought that maybe other men would also kind of struggle to connect to these characters. So he did what he would then later do with most of his stories, where he just kind of shelved it for a bit. And in December 1972, King decided to completely rewrite it, make it a full novel, and that's when he added all the fake document sections in. So, do you know about that, Garen, in the book?
I believe we have discussed it before, like when we were originally planning.
Yeah. So if you haven't read Carrie, it's kind of told almost documentary style, but in novel form.
Yeah, that's the thing that I was just like, oh, okay. Yeah, I thought it was just like the introduction was going to be like that, but that's like throughout the entire novel.
Yeah. So, for example, like at the very start of the book, it is introduced in a with a report from a newspaper, and there's excerpts from a fake book about telekinesis, fake autobiography by Sue Snell.
And I saw like a really interpretation of that. So remind me to bring it up later.
Yeah, of course, yeah. So those were heavily inspired by War of the Worlds.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, which I thought was interesting. Carrie was picked up then once he submitted it, even though he wasn't that confident. He sent it off, and it was picked up by Doubleday. which were King's original publishers. So King revised the novel with the help of his friend and editor, Bill Thompson, who we've mentioned a couple times.
Yeah,
He's
shout
the
out
one
Bill.
who he's the one who kept being like, they're going to call you a horror writer. Maybe write something else.
Just a quick question, and I don't know if there is an answer for this.
Yeah.
How, like, when we discussed Christine, way back when, did King ever give a reason for why he chose the name Carrie?
There is a bit in the 50th anniversary edition.
Really nice cover.
Beautiful cover. We went to Waterstones the other day and we saw it. And
shout out Waterstones, they have that and the
shit.
cube.
I took a picture. Did I delete it? This should be in my recycling bin. It's fine. I got it. There's a bit in the in that. It's got an introduction by Margaret Atwood where she interviews a couple people and they speak about the names. So I don't know if King's specific reason, but yeah. So if I just take that, so Carrie White, Carrie, as King pains to point out, I'm reading this directly from the book. Carrie, as King takes pains to point out, is not short for Carolina. Carrie's given name is Carrietta, a variation of the name Caretta, which is derived from caritas or charity, and so it kind of is Latin for like loving and forgiving kindness, and is apparently a very possibly an old common name for Christianity and linked to like the Christian triad of faith, hope, and charity. So yeah, it's likely just linked to the Christianity side of things.
Okay.
That's what Margaret Atwood said, at least.
Yeah. The reason why I do ask, and I may have mentioned this on the podcast before, I've definitely mentioned this to you in general conversations. I typically don't like when something is named just after a character.
Yeah.
So I'm always intrigued why that character's named specifically when you do that.
Yeah.
So that's just the reason why.
Do you think it works in this instance?
I think it's a good name, yeah. I mean, it's hard to see as anything else but the character's name at this point, but
I think
to that end, why not, call Salem's Lot Mark, Mike, a guy with a name begin with M.
Mike. I don't know, I think that would work.
I think that it really helps that Carrie is like sort of an older name where it's not really common. Like the only I can think of one Carrie Hope Fletcher, who's the theatre person.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And I don't know what it's
Carry
short
on
for
camping.
Her.
Carry on up the Khyber.
Carry on, my wayward son.
Yeah,
it's true. But I feel like if you say to like anyone, especially from who sort of grew up around the 80s, 90s, who were from just sort of familiar with that era of pop culture, and you say the name Carrie,
it just comes to mind. It
comes to mind. Yeah. And I guess it's kind of like we said earlier, an Ouroboros, where it's just like, King's version of Carrie put the name on the map and kind of gave it that association. But also, if it was any other name, perhaps it wouldn't have. It's hard to say. Because, like, for example, The Shining, Jack Torrance, Ben Mears in Salem's Lot, like Jack, Ben, very basic names. Whereas Carrie is just very, very unique as a name.
I'd like to live in the world where Shawshank Redemption is just called Andy.
Andy.
Right.
But yeah, it's worth knowing. I'd like the name Carrietta.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty name. But yeah, going back to the publishing. So the novel, I asked you the other day if you knew the original end to the novel.
I know
they
now.
Don't pour the
you know now.
They don't pour the bucket on her head and she has a nice time.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it? The novel originally ended with Carrie growing horns and destroying a plane like 30,000 feet above her, and Bill Thompson convinced King to make the ending more low-key.
God damn, this man has like 9/11 in his blood.
Okay,
like 20 years
when I said I knew the ending, I didn't know that.
Okay.
I knew how she kills her mother.
Oh no, yeah, that is how she does it in the book.
Yeah,
that's like the heart stopping.
Yeah.
She's
the OG heart stopper.
She is. Eventually, the novel was approved for a $1,500 advance, which Bill Thompson later got them to raise to $2,500.
What's that in state money?
I have this. I have this.
You have this?
Yeah.
Ah, thank you.
Yeah.
You're my
it was
walking converter.
Before Garen says, it was a rather large advance at the time.
Damn. Good for it.
Yeah, but I'll have to give you the actual figures.
Give me the numbers.
So, in today's money, approximately $16,400.
Oof. And if you think that's a lot, just wait a minute, because So that was the hardback, which was published April 5th, 1974. It was a set run of 30,000 copies, and it was marketed as an occult book because apparently horror novels weren't really that popular at the time.
Yeah, Goosebumps wasn't around.
That's true, yeah. Stephen King wasn't around
Yeah,
yet.
no, you had to be the first one.
Yeah.
Dean Koontz, where were you?
So May 3rd, 1974, Carrie was received by the publishers of the New English Library, being read one night by the president of the company, Bob Tanner, who then sent a copy to the parent company, the New American Library, who offered Doubleday $400,000 for the paperback rights, of which King received $200,000.
Fuck.
And that's 70s money.
God damn, that's like
Yeah.
million.
Honestly, yeah. So, have you seen the original cover?
No.
Really? Oh, let me show you. The original cover's great. They obviously, because King, it wasn't Stephen King yet.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny, we talked about the title as well.
Is his name Tiny in it?
Not even that.
I don't know if I have seen the original cover. I know the one that's like illustrated and it kind of looks like Sissy Spacek.
This cover would get reused where the names was added, but no, they made a specific choice to not include not only Stephen King's name, but also the name of the book. So it says,
Oh, wow.
a novel of a girl possessed of a terrifying power.
Wow.
And it's just that artwork.
It looks like an Italian horror movie.
Yeah, it's like those Polish film posters.
Yes.
So it's funny we said about Carrie's name like as a book title as well. Even that they were kind of like
Yeah.
not really a selling
It doesn't really
point.
tell you what it is. And obviously
No.
now we know what Carrie is. It's permeated pop
There's a
culture.
lot of very good covers of Carrie. Obviously we mentioned the 50th anniversary, but I've seen lots of versions. I don't like the version I've got. It's not too bad. It's better than some book tie-ins.
It's just the movie poster.
Yeah, it's like the same reason I don't mind my movie tie-in version of it. I kind of like the person on black background style. I'd like it more if it didn't say starring Chloe Grace Moretz at the top.
But then how do you
prefer,
know?
Like, yeah,
How
do you
I know
prefer the
it's
banner
her?
or do you prefer like the circle on like now in
That's
Netflix?
a good question, actually. I think I prefer the banner than the
Yeah.
circle of like now.
You
in
could
Netflix
cross that
original.
out. I really like the arrow cover. That's pretty cool.
The arrow cover is great.
Yeah, the Blu-ray. Yeah. I will talk more about this later. But yeah. That artwork is commissioned by Laz Marquez.
But the one on Letterboxd is one of my favorites.
Oh,
Just here
yeah.
in the prom photo. Is that on the inside?
Yeah.
I love.
That's the alternative artwork on this.
Let's see. I love
Yeah,
this.
that's
Because it's like it's perfectly like summarizes the ending. It's
Yeah.
incredible. It shows both sides. It's
does.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Fuck, this film's so good.
I wish I did. I mean, obviously, I'm really happy I've got this, but the special edition, because Arrow do like really nice special editions. I've got the Return of the Living Dead one at home.
Yeah.
They all come with posters, and a Carrie poster would be kind of sick.
Yeah.
I'd be really cheeky. I want to go look what the VHS cover is because I can't remember.
All right, quickly go for it.
So the VHS cover just has blood-soaked Carrie in front of a bunch of candles.
Yeah.
It's not great, right? The copy of the VHS I've got is the TerraVision widescreen version which is like supposed to make you feel like you're in the cinema to the point where it shows the BBFC card at the start.
Oh hell yeah, that's
Yeah, it's
sick.
kind of cool actually, but yeah, it's not the best cover.
I do like, and it's not on there. Your VHS.
Yeah.
It's not on the newly commissioned artwork, but it is on the previous artwork, and it's the one I drew. I really like the typography. Of
Oh,
that
yeah.
logo. That's just
That's
I know
great.
that's my rendition of it. It's not perfect 100%.
No,
but
it's
I like
close.
the aesthetic of it.
No, it's really good.
Like the wibbly wobbly, like under the water looking, like, displaced.
Yeah,
It's
it's
an
like
interesting. It's an interesting choice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it is.
Obviously, they don't use it in the movie. They just have like
The
a
text, yeah.
yeah. Which I'll have more.
true. I
things
love
to say
that
later.
text that they use on that.
Yeah, there's two versions of it as well. But like I said, we'll get into that when we
Yeah.
talk the movie.
Well, last note on the book. So Carrie is one of those books that just continuously got printed. We already mentioned that the 50th anniversary edition was published last year, March 26, 2020. No, not last year anymore.
Yeah,
2 years ago,
It's a
March
brand new year.
2024. Yeah.
Mhm.
Which included a new introduction by Margaret Atwood because she's a woman. No, she had it was very interesting, that
Yeah.
introduction. She I'll read more from it later when it comes up in
it's very
conversations.
interesting considering all the feminist interpretations I see.
Yeah,
exist, so.
it makes sense to ask
Yeah.
someone like Margaret Atwood.
Yeah.
of course
Yeah.
it does. The
I know who
hardback.
Margaret Atwood is.
Do you actually know who she is?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Handmaid's Tale.
She's a novelist. She's a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to mansplain Margaret Atwood to us, Joe.
So the hardback sold. They're going back to the original publication. The hardback sold modestly, but the paperback boosted the sales up to 1 million in the first year, and then with the announcement of the film, the original run ended at around 4 million copies being sold. It was a New York Times bestseller in 1976, peaking at number 3, and it stayed on the list for 14 weeks. So just right out the gate,
Crazy.
first novel success.
There was just something
$500,000 paid.
Yeah. There was just like something in this that just really spoke to a lot of people, I suppose.
Yeah. Do we know when he started writing Salem's Lot? Like, was that immediately after, or was he like already working?
Let me go back, because I definitely did have notes on that. That's Salem's Lot 2004. 1975 was when Salem's Lot was published by Doubleday. King started as a short story written in college. So he actually
had the idea
started
for a
Salem's
while.
Lot before Carrie. And then, after the success of Carrie, King revised the story of Salem's Lot. Which, to be fair, it's kind of similar. Carrie was a short story that he then revised, so Salem's Lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I'd love to see the original version of Carrie, just in terms of that short story. I guess it's just the current book without the interludes. Because I know that the original Salem's Lot short story is included in a bunch of the copies. And I have read it. But I'll talk more about that when we do a Chapel 8, because that's relevant for that. So
the book's already had its 50th anniversary, but this year, 2026, 50th anniversary of the film.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I hope they do a re-release.
That would be great.
That would be
and
great.
Rocky.
And Rocky. God, I love Rocky.
That'd be great, actually. Yeah. So, Viv, what did you think of the book?
It was fascinating to go to this. I really enjoyed reading it, surprisingly. It was just like so different from what I was expecting. I mean, I know obviously the whole like interview, I don't know how to describe it.
Interludes?
Yeah,
I guess.
like the interludes in between them. Just how that structures the actual story, because it's like nearly a 50-50 split.
It takes up a lot.
Least. Yeah.
And it's interesting how King would use things like this throughout his early career. Like in Salem's Lot, for example, I can think of some times where it would do a similar thing, but not to this extent.
Yeah.
And especially not to the point where I think that this, like, for lack of a better term, spoils its own ending, but not in a negative way.
That's what I was thinking about, in that it isn't just like it doesn't just describe it, like it spoils, but it contextualizes it in a specific way, and then you see it from
Carrie's perspective.
Then you see it from Carrie's perspective. So it's like quite an interesting literary device that I don't see often used.
Yeah.
Well, you bring up that, and at least, for us, our age, the film and the book have been out 25 odd years. It has permeated pop culture, and I think I knew the ending before I watched the movie. You said about the trailer for this.
Oh yeah, the original.
Even the trailer for the Chloe Grace Moretz one, I remember seeing, and it spoils the whole.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
The original theatrical trailer, which was included on the VHS, fully shows her get covered in blood, start killing people, and kill her mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it is a story that kind of works, like where it's headed, but it's like it's kind of just the progression of getting.
Well, it's interesting because I mentioned I'm not okay with this earlier, and I feel like I get that name wrong. No, I'm sure it's just called that.
Mm-hmm.
And that opens with Sophia
Lillis.
Sophia Lillis running down the street in a prom dress covered in blood.
Mm.
So that even kind of does a similar thing of just like it builds on the suspense of something's going to happen.
And it's a pretty accurate like adaptation. There are like certain elements, and there's like way things that, and maybe there's like near the ending, like the last like couple pages and whatever, it's like it just continues. It's more expansive.
Yeah.
But like generally for Poppy, it's like quite similar.
It'd be interesting to talk to you too about the which we'll do after we finish talking about the Brian De Palma film today, about the musicals, because both musicals are they're more adaptations of the book than the film, definitely.
Yeah.
And it's interesting how the original 1998 production versus the 2012 production of the musicals both pull different elements from the original book. Like the 2012 production fully uses the framing device of it opens and Sue Snell's on stage with a spotlight on her and she's being like interviewed.
Yeah.
And that comes back throughout, which is the only adaptation I can think of, unless I'm misremembering, that does that.
From what I understand,
Yeah,
we will see a bit more of that in the next episode of All Hail the King.
Yeah, I was thinking one of them does, but I couldn't really remember. So it's interesting. I think it does elevate the book in the sense of it really builds the suspense.
Yeah.
And I even in the musical, the thing, and I think this is a quote that, like, not verbatim, but like close to the book, where it uses one of the later quotes from Sue, where it says, like, the main thing you need to remember is that we were just kids.
Yeah.
And then it obviously goes into the destruction and Carrie killing them all. And it's a good way of building suspense, but also kind of humanizing, I think, especially Sue. I think it's especially relevant because King said that he couldn't connect with Carrie or Sue. So he obviously added those to try and find a place for her as well.
Yeah, they were able to give like quite a lot of depth to even like the like Chris or Bobby.
Her Chris's boyfriend. Yeah,
like, even he got a little bit of depth given to him, considering his character is like pretty one-dimensional.
Yeah, just how like he kind of, as it went on, wanted less involvement, and that's something I don't think this movie shows, but I'm sure one of them does. I'm sure, I can't remember which one, but one of them does the thing where like Bobby doesn't really want to be there. It's just Chris essentially.
Yeah, but it was fascinating. It is like one thing I find fascinating about it is like. In the book, I felt it's like... in the film, there's like... Well, I'll get more into it when I talk about the film, but in the book, it feels like really tragic. Just this whole thing. It's just like horror happening to all these people, but you understand where it's coming from. It's coming from like a pain that's just been sort of dealt with, and it's just being exploded. Yeah. It's kind of the proto-femcel school shooter story. It's fucking horrible.
Well, it just goes into like... one of my favorite quotes from the book that gets reused in like every adaptation, including all the musicals as well, is just the phrase Margaret White always says after Carrie says about her period, which is the quote from the Bible that God made Eve from the rib of Adam, and Eve was weak. And just like, I know we'll talk about it throughout, but just considering King is a man and he didn't really feel comfortable writing women, pulling from the fact that like, from a religious point of view, from the dawn of time, women have just been persecuted and seen as weak. It is tragic.
It treats us like sort of like this sort of outpost would be an inevitability.
Yeah, I think it treats it that sort of way. Like
the framing device like really like assists to it. I was kind of put off by it for a little while into the book, but after a while it felt kind of seamless. And when it got kind of interesting in like part 2 of the book, when it was like the prom thing, and it was like describing what happened at it, and then it happens again. Yeah. But obviously you get the much more subjective point of view of Carrie. Yeah. It is very interesting. And then by the end, when it's just describing her feelings and she's just dying. Yeah. It's so sad.
It is just really sad.
Yeah. So, you two have read the book.
Yes.
I did start listening to the audiobook a few months back, before we started doing the podcast. I didn't end up listening to the whole thing. I think I got like an hour or so into it, and then I just kind of didn't do it because then we changed to Christine. So I found the framing device like very unexpected, not really knowing that was what it was going for. Interesting how it would play out in... I think it would work better in like a book format reading it, maybe not so much in an audio
considering it's like all text documents.
Yeah, I think that's what helps about
like courtroom
hearings, like excerpts from Sue's book, and different reports.
But I really like that kind of structuring. Like even go back to what we were saying about like the trailers and stuff. You kind of know the ending before you go in. I really like stories that don't necessarily start at the beginning. You know, I like being able to unravel things and jump out of time. It's non-chronological. I know there are quite famously people who don't like that. I know there's a very famous Rick and Morty episode where they just like start the stories at the beginning. Just like, but
it's a good.
Am I going to take writing advice from Rick and Morty? I don't think so.
It can be a good way to build suspense.
It's
the Hitchcock thing.
I was going to say it's the very overused Hitchcock.
And we'll talk about Hitchcock in a bit.
Yeah,
we will.
But even just in terms of the book is split into 3 parts, like many Stephen King books are. He loves 3 parts. But even just the fact I'm showing in the book for the audio listeners. Part 3 is called Wreckage, and it's just immediately just like hospital documents and reports of it afterwards.
Yeah.
So like it's literally just it ends with documents just to show like the later interpretations of this.
The other big difference is that it doesn't end with Carrie just destroying a house. She just carries on.
Yeah.
She just carries on and literally just destroys the town.
Yeah, that's one thing I found fascinating in the book, especially, is when it starts getting other people's perspectives, and it's just like a guy in a shop.
Yeah,
and he's just like, I didn't have a clue what was happening.
Yeah,
but everything
Who the fuck
was
is
on
Carrie
fire.
White?
Yeah, essentially is. It's just like, did you know it was Carrie White? It's like, I don't know who Carrie White is.
One thing I do want to say on that note, in the special features, I believe it is Brian De Palma who says this, or somebody says this about Brian De Palma saying this. The budget didn't allow for them to destroy the whole town, but they saw that as kind of fortuitous, just like, well, she's only going to destroy the high school, because when you're that age, high school is your entire life.
Yeah, that kind of works.
Yeah.
But by the time it gets to that point, and in the end, it's just like, it's reading the destruction. It's the end of this town.
Yeah.
It's just like all these people's like lives are ruined, and like Carrie gets just misunderstood as this monster that everyone can blame it on.
And that's why I think that Sue's bits add so much as well, because she's the only person who kind of tried to understand
her. Even from the beginning, even before all of it, she was trying to like reckon with how she treated this person.
That's why I like the interpretations. Obviously, we kind of get a version of this in the movie where Sue goes after Carrie is dead, and that's when the jump scare happens. But there are interpretations of Carrie where Sue is there with Carrie when she dies.
Yeah.
And holds her, and it's like the only person to show her love.
Reading this, I'm just absolutely floored that Stephen King isn't an atheist. The way he tackles like religion in every single one, he seems like he has just contempt for it and how it's like used.
I think it's interesting. I think it's mainly what you just said, how it's used.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, Carrie is religious. She has faith that benefits her in some ways. But it's not the faith that's the problem. It's her mother and how she weaponizes it. But even in that sense, her mother is a victim as well.
It is.
Of it all. It's all cyclical. But I just before we move on from the book, obviously we'll carry on talking about it for our but because it's just
think of a synonym for Carrie.
We'll continue on.
Thank you.
All of it throughout. But just even the way of Stephen King's I've praised a lot of Stephen King's writing. Obviously, I love him as an author, and a lot of how no matter of fact he is in this. It's matter of fact, but more in terms of like how his sentences flow.
Yeah,
and I really love, especially with the way it's set out in the physical version of my book, where the line of just where it already talks about the rain of stones and already immediately hinting to something will happen in this, like a tragedy.
Yeah.
And the girl's bullying her. And I just fucking love the line of what none of them knew, of course, was that Carrie White was telekinetic. Because that seems to go against all fucking rules of writing. You hear of like, show don't tell in the text. You go show it. Just be like, she's got telekinesis.
This was like the first thing I remember you talking about the book when you were reading it for the first time. It's just like, oh, I've been reading Carrie, and it's just like, yeah, he just straight up just says like right away. There's no like suspension for this because it's like, and it's not really necessary.
I don't think so. I think it benefits it. I think that I talked to you about how I've like trying to get back into writing world, trying to be creative, and it's a style I've tried to be exploring of more like. I love flowery language. I think that
the directness can be like beneficial.
Directness can be effective. Sometimes, like I feel like show don't tell works, but sometimes it is more effective to just tell.
Yeah,
and I think that's the case where it works. Rather than having it kind of like in the movie, obviously because it's a visual medium of like seeing the powers flare up as it goes. I like that before even Carrie's powers are even activated, it's just immediate warning of, oh yeah, she's got this.
It kind of, to me at least, it reads as like when you watch an old like Twilight Zone episode and it's just like got the Rod Serling like, and the thing you need to know about this man is he's an alien.
It
does kind of read like that though.
Yeah, and it is kind of that's how people would talk about it. Obviously we talked about the factual documents that like included in the book. There's some that debate whether she was telekinetic. It's like, oh, is that what really happened? So to have like the omnipotent narrator just being like, she was, like, this is what happened.
Okay, so one of the things I've read about the framing device of like all the documents in there,
Yeah.
the Carrie is like it was. Oh God, I read like a bunch, and I'm scared I want to give credit to like
Yeah.
and I don't remember which one it is, but I'll just read all the ones I have, and if this is one of your articles I downloaded. So the ones I read were Fearing the Witch, Hating the Bitch, The Double Structure of Misogyny in Stephen King's Carrie by Paris Shun Hisang Shi, I think. The other one was We Found the Witch, May We Burn Her, a suburban gothic witch hunting, anxiety-inducing conformity in Stephen King's Carrie by Victoria Madden. And yeah, I think it was between those two that this sort of general interpretation comes from.
Yeah.
More from the first one, I believe. But he's coming at this from it's quite critical of the book just because of obviously Stephen King is a man and he's tackling these things. Obviously he had help from his wife.
Yeah.
It does play into certain sexist stereotypes because of the genre that it's in. And more like leaning into the general sort of Salem witch trials, like they're either like pure and a virgin or they're an old witch.
Yeah.
And this sort of plays into them with Carrie's mum, who's an old spinster and is portrayed as being more masculine, and the promiscuous girls obviously being also the antagonist, and Carrie being sort of a mix between the two. So it's playing with them, but but what's sort of interesting about like the framing device of all the documentation is that the scientific research and methods of it could be viewed as more of a masculine way of like compartmentalizing the story within it, which I just think it's just kind of interesting that the only way they're able to like interpret these events that happened is by putting them in research documents, by quantifying them, rather than sort of feeling what Carrie was going through at the time. That isn't 100% what they were saying. This is more my interpretation of their interpretation.
Yeah, but I think that is interesting. It's the whole like facts don't care about your feelings sort of thing. It's like, does it matter how and why Carrie has her powers?
Yeah.
Or is it more important of the emotions that triggered them?
Yeah. I put them. But those articles are great. Go read them.
They sound really fascinating. I might read them in between this and the next week's episode. The
other one I'll mention is about Brian De Palma, and a lot of it went over my head, but I'll try and talk about it. And one more thing. It's more just like I want to mention how Carrie is written in the book.
Yes.
More of how Stephen describes her. Because I know some people have issues with how he writes describing women in his books.
Yeah. Do you want to say your take first? Because I think I'll have a different opinion for a different reason.
Well, just like how she's like presented less like, I guess she isn't Sissy Spacek.
No, well that's why I said off mic a second ago about how I wasn't really sure when to bring this up, but one of my main issues with not just this version, but frankly every version of Carrie I have seen, including most of the musical adaptations I've seen.
She's traditionally
like even in the book, like obviously there's more insulting descriptions, like he calls her a frog among swans.
Yeah,
which is it's very interesting, especially because like I know the metaphor. But like frogs could also be like traditionally seen as like, you know, the princess and the frog, so a frog that becomes beautiful, just like the ugly duckling was a swan.
I guess you could sort of like say it's like from a specific like, but it's not like, really from her point of view. It's not first person.
But that's what I mean in the sense of like he's not just being like Carrie is objectively ugly. It's more just in the they view her as this.
Yeah,
it's how she is perceived. And, you know, he's not like...
But it's not critical of it. It's more, I guess, just sort of painting this picture of this person in your head.
But my main issue with, like, the adaptations is, like, not only the fact that, like, she's traditionally beautiful in most of them, but the fact that Stephen multiple times mentions that she's an overweight girl. And I think the fact that pig's blood for a pig is incredibly relevant to that. And as an overweight person, I think that... I can see an interpretation of this where someone might say, like, it's negative to characterize like an overweight person as the victim of bullying and things like that. But I also just think it's important to have
it's kind of just the text.
Yeah, it's important to have that. Like, it's all well and good saying, like, having a beautiful person play a character.
I'm guessing for the new adaptation, they haven't cast, like, a plus-size actress or anything.
I don't believe so.
I remember hearing rumblings that it was going to be, spoilers for Hereditary, The girl who gets her
Oh,
head.
like
That would be
But I
great.
don't think it's her.
Oh,
It's someone
okay.
else.
That'd be great because
Yeah,
but
she was great in Hereditary.
yeah. But
She really sold getting her head.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I completely empathise with that. It's kind of like how we spoke in Christine way back when about how like Arnie's ugliness is characterized
Mm.
in the sense of in the movie, you know, they don't give him like acne scars and things like that because you don't really want to take a stance and say like this person is objectively unattractive when that's a real thing people deal with.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's a double-edged sword of when you're like casting someone who's supposed to not be conventionally attractive, and then it's just like but like on whose
But also
It is
like
a
whose
thing,
authority? Yeah,
It is like a lot of like Hollywood casting. It's like you don't really cast.
I
Like,
know some people who don't.
ugly
yeah.
people.
Yeah, I know
Yes.
some people don't find Sissy Spacek that attractive, but she's literally a model.
Yeah, like
she's beautiful.
by
She
modern
might not be like
standards.
She's not like
She's
the
not-
norm of today. What's considered.
She
beautiful.
wouldn't get people like crazy like Sydney Sweeney does.
Yeah.
yeah.
She's not got TikTok face and like
No, she's
But she's stunning.
yeah,
Yeah.
she's like obviously
We
gorgeous.
spoke about this when Garrett and I recently saw When Harry Met Sally, and I listened to a podcast where they talked about that, and they said about how Meg Ryan is an extremely beautiful woman, but she also still looks like a person.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of days nowadays, unfortunately, a lot of people, men and women, feel the need to get plastic surgery, which is their own choice. I'm not against that, of course, but it's more in the sense
Sounds like
of
you're against it.
no, it's genuinely more in the sense of like because Hollywood has this very specific idealized.
Like if you want to get roles, you're gonna have to look this certain way.
Yeah.
But also just like the general perception, like the constant.
Yeah,
Like,
it's outside of Hollywood as well, just like in general, like online, like on dating apps and filters, and you know, I see it with guys and girls on dating
what
apps.
beautiful what is considered beautiful now is like quite different. But,
Yeah.
Also, just like in Hollywood, like I've heard the phrase like movie ugly or TV ugly being thrown
Yeah.
around, where it's just like you're not an unattractive person. It's just
you don't look like like a very symmetrical person.
Yeah, and-
nothing like stand out, but like very.
And they say with a lot of actresses when they try to go for like quote unquote Oscar baity roles, like
Yeah, they
I
just
think
don't look true. Yeah.
Charlize Theron in Monster.
Yeah.
Just like you gotta go ugly.
Well,
to
even
show
like
you can act.
you mentioned Sydney Sweeney. Obviously, we have beef with it because we saw the trailer a million times. But Christy, I didn't even know that was her, and she's not ugly in Christy. It's just she looks different
Yeah.
because she hasn't got like she's got like.
Do you think
a
she
bit
looks
more
like her in
character.
The Housemaid?
Yes. But it's that same sort of thing. And I saw people, I know we didn't want to watch Christy, and I don't necessarily think it looked like a good movie. But I saw a lot of people saying, like, oh, guys don't want to see that because Sydney Sweeney's not hot in it. And it's sad because it's probably true. It's probably one of the
I think
reasons.
in part. I think
But yeah, I think that it's hard, especially like talking about plus size characters. And, you know, I'm saying this as an overweight man. It's also very different for like plus size women.
Yeah.
Like the shit they have to go through, especially.
Mm.
But I feel like that's what makes it more important of the fact of like, yeah, Carrie, the whole point of like Carrie is beautiful. It's just how she's perceived.
Yeah.
That's still effective, if not more effective, if she is a plus size girl.
Yeah.
And the fact that like the 2013 version example for Chloe Grace Moretz, it's like, oh yeah, we're meant to believe that she's being picked on
Yeah.
when she's like, again.
it's a weird thing where it's just like
Yeah.
obviously in the book like you can do that, but in the movie it's just like you're gonna have executives just like we can't sell a movie on a
Yeah.
fat girl, or, you know.
Yeah, and
No, it is true. It's really
true.
sad. There's
I
no
can-
real solution to it.
I can barely name any like plus size actresses who would be able to be Carrie, but like a younger plus size actress,
Yeah.
because there's just so few of them.
Mm.
And you know, like I completely understand if someone has a different take on this from me, where they're just like, no, I think that would be worse because it would be showing fat people as victims.
Mm.
But I feel like that's only true because they're so underrepresented.
Yeah. I think it's different in this where it's like they're a central role and there's like there's I wouldn't say there's agency, but there's they're a central character. The story is about them going through these things. It's
Yeah.
not like they're just a butt of a joke.
Yeah.
There is a joke in this and it is like horrific. It's
yeah.
framed in a horrible way.
Also with movies, like not defending it obviously, they're raising a very good point. I'm just trying to understand the rationale of like why they do it so frequently.
Yeah.
There's a lot of physicality that sometimes an actor would require for a role, and maybe they don't see someone who's plus size as being able to.
Yeah.
do that.
I feel as though for this though.
I don't think it's as extreme, but obviously there are like
a good example.
There's physical stuff she has to do.
Yeah. A good example I can think of in regards to is actually Holes. So Holes, the
Shia LaBeouf movie.
Yeah, the Shia LaBeouf movie. Stanley in the book progressively loses weight. He starts out fat, but obviously because they're so like overworked and malnourished, he quickly loses weight. And the executives on the films are like, we cannot make an overweight teen lose weight for this movie.
I found a solution.
Inhumane.
Film in reverse, get him fat.
Great choice. But yeah, so yeah, I definitely understand that side of things.
Christian Bale as a child.
As a child, he would have done it.
Yeah,
he would have.
Go from like Vice to like Machinist.
Yeah. But yeah, it's up to individual interpretations. I think that the tragedy of it would be even more oversell, like not oversell, but like sold even better.
And this isn't a criticism of the performance either. I think Sissy Spacek is great.
No,
for
especially
this.
that. That's why I was like, I don't know whether to mention it next week when we get to like Chloe Grace Moretz. I don't know, but especially
this is just like this is such a general issue for film casting in general.
Yes, yeah.
That it's just kind of just like, of course, a 70s movie
Yeah.
probably isn't going to cover it, but it's such a shame. Like even now,
I've heard it in like other stories as well, completely random, but like, for example, Funny Girl, the musical, where I'm like the original actress, obviously Barbara Streisand is obviously a like very thin woman, but in the modern interpretation on Broadway, it was Beanie Feldstein. Yeah.
Who's that?
Booksmart.
Oh. Yeah. She then got replaced with Leah Michele, and people were like, it kind of sucks to see like
someone who read get replaced by someone who can't read.
Yeah. But yeah,
especially when they're book smart.
Just see an overweight actress be replaced with a skinny actress.
I'm hella bent.
So it's relevant everywhere. I just wanted to bring it up, especially because like one of the scenes I love in this version is in the Brian De Palma version is when the teacher like shows Carrie that she's beautiful in the mirror. I think that would have been so much more emotional and like beautiful as well if it's like not a model.
Yeah, just
like I love
right
Sissy
away.
Spacek, but like
I get what you. I completely get where you're coming from, but I think it does kind of speak to a point that there are people who do like say that Sissy Spacek's not attractive.
I know, but these
I
people
disagree.
are dumb.
Yeah,
I disagree, but I think to an extent it's just like kind of I get it. Like in terms of like they kind of hit the nail on the head when people are saying this about Sissy Spacek.
I think it's interesting, especially in this, and I think Sissy Spacek's acting is just so good that you do just sort of see the character.
Yeah, I think it more comes into play with like her timidness. I think she does that fantastically.
I think this version of Carrie is definitely more picked on, less for her like physical looks, it's for like her actions and her characterization.
If we are talking about, Sissy Spacek, let's just talk about the movie. I'm just going to run through a few of the creatives and then the cast, and then just go into the more production side of things.
Okay.
Don't know why I have to explain this to you. This is typically what we do every time. This could be someone's first episode.
Yeah, this is like a good jumping off point because of like, I'm going to listen to like a Stephen King podcast. I'll start with the first one.
Yeah.
And here you are in season 2.
Yeah.
But the seasons is mainly for us. So
yeah, it's more like a planning thing for us. Like, you're obviously welcome to come in and out as you please. And people do. Having a look at the metrics, like certain episodes spike and certain ones just go down. Just like, I get it.
Not many
people have watched Bag of Bones, but it's fine.
It's fine. As someone who has read and watched Bag of Bones, skip it.
This is your cross to bear.
You're just saying that because you don't want people to know that you fucked up the audio in that
also
episode.
Also true. Yeah. Okay. Go on.
So we have already mentioned this fella. This movie was produced by one Paul Monash, who is a producer who worked on the movie Slaughterhouse-5, was an executive producer on Butch Cassidy, and who thinks they know where we remember him from?
I've heard
Salem's Lot.
Bingo. He was the writer of the teleplay for Salem's Lot in 1979. He didn't write the teleplay for this, or screenplay for this. That was Lawrence D. Larry Cohen, but a different Larry Cohen to return from Salem's Lot.
Bring it back!
Yeah.
He had worked on Ghost Story. He's done a lot of theatre as well, and we'll get onto him more later. But he would actually write 2 more King adaptations. He did the teleplay for part 1 of the 1990s It, and wrote the entirety of the Tommyknockers miniseries.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So we will come back to Lawrence D. Larry Cohen in the future. We've got music by Pino Donaggio.
Incredible. I'll get into it. I fucking love the score in this.
I love the score. We will share.
Yeah.
But he has worked on Don't Look Now, so Nicholas Roeg, who did the AIDS.
Yeah.
Also,
it's all connected.
Yeah.
Also, the Joe Dante movie Piranha.
Hell yeah.
Obviously, if you can't tell by his name, Pino Donaggio, he's Italian. Worked on a lot of Italian movies, and the Piranha movies were made in Italy.
Is this the one with the sequels directed by James Cameron, but wasn't?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And he thought it was like eating food out of the trash, and then he got sick and had a nightmare about a robot skeleton.
Everything happens for a reason.
What a world we live
in. I know.
You know. It's that feeling of Sondo when I hear that story of James Cameron. There are 2 directors of photography, one of which who's uncredited, that being Isidore Mankowski. He, from my understanding, shot all the scenes in the home.
Oh, really?
Margaret White. He's also worked on The Muppet Movie.
Sick.
And Ewoks, The Battle for Endor.
Is there a reason he wasn't credited?
He got replaced mid-production.
Oh, were they arguing?
I believe so. And then Mario Tosi came in and filmed the rest of the movie. So
Interesting.
Like a lot of the
like,
school stuff.
Yeah.
He's worked on the movie Frogs, and also the series Sybil, or miniseries Sybil.
Oh, maybe. Who's the first guy? Sorry?
Isidore Mankowski.
Maybe he was just kicking off because of all the fucking filters that they had on, like, just gave everything that glow, and he's just like, Brian, I can't put any more. He was just like, do it!
He was just like, enough, we get it. Split diopter, we get it. More!
That's what you would be like.
Yeah. Wait till we make ours. We're going to be shouting about split diopters every other minute.
Sybil came out the same year as this, and was also about a mother-daughter relationship.
Huh.
I think that had Sally Field in it. This was edited by Paul Hirsch, who is a very, very notorious editor, worked on tons of films, specifically Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back.
Didn't he work on Mission Impossible as well? He worked on a couple
Yes,
of
he's done Mission Impossible 1 and 4, funnily enough. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. He, along with Marshall Lucas, won the Oscar for editing Star Wars.
Nice.
Casting was done by Harriet B. Hellberg, who would also go on to cast the movie Ruby, which, again, starred Piper Laurie, and also the 1980s version of The Jazz Singer. Art directors, these are the ones I kind of want to bring up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Jack Fisk, who is an incredible production designer, he's got a hell of a CV. Recently, Marty Supreme.
Nice.
Previous to that, There Will Be Blood, The Revenant, Mulholland Drive.
Damn.
And he's married to Sissy Spacek.
No way.
And they worked on Eraserhead.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sissy Spacek,
cool.
was it?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What?
Have you not seen, like... you haven't seen Eraserhead stories?
No.
No.
Sissy Spacek, son?
She's not in Eraserhead, but she worked on the production of it.
Really?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
You're more than welcome to borrow
That sounds fascinating, yeah.
the Criterion of it.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's beautiful. Yeah, so they're married, and he's got a hell of a career. Like, even Marty Supreme, which we watched recently.
Yeah, that had incredible production.
Yeah. Also, Bill Kenny who worked on Rocky IV, which is probably even better than any of the stuff that Jack Fisk has done, and Rambo First Blood Part 2. Also, they were assisted by Bill Paxton, who is not primarily known as production designer.
But there we go, got another Jim Cameron.
Cameron link, yeah. And lastly, of the production team I want to bring up is Rosanna Norton, the costume designer. She would also work on Airplane and the totally rad costumes for Tron.
The original Tron?
Yeah.
Nice.
One thing I will say about Tron is those costumes are like
they're
crazy.
cool.
Yeah. a really interesting group of people coming together to work on this. And then we got the cast, Sissy Spacek
Iconic.
as
She's-
Carrie.
yeah.
She is in a lot of stuff. Recently, we saw her in Dynamite Love.
Was she in Badlands at that point, or was this after?
Yes, Badlands was 73.
Oh, so
Yeah.
like,
Which Jack Fisk worked on.
yeah.
I think that's how they met. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
She was in The Straight Story, which
Yeah.
is David Lynch. We love David Lynch.
Yeah, I
We
love the
do.
straight story.
Yeah.
And she is an Academy Award winner for The Coal Miner's Daughter,
Which I haven't seen yet.
Haven't seen.
I haven't seen either,
No.
but it's a music biopic.
Oh.
So
But before it was like
she was that
drilled
generation.
into.
She was that generation's Rami Malek.
Oh.
Piper Laurie, who was in the movie The Hustler, retired for about 15 years and then came back to do this. She also worked with David Lynch on Twin Peaks.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
She plays Margaret White. We've got Amy Irving as Sue Snell. She was in the Brian De Palma movie The Fury after this, and she would be nominated for an Oscar in Yentl with Barbara Streisand, who
Hey,
you've
there we
mentioned.
go.
There you go. I thought you went. You met.
I met Barbara
Yeah.
Streisand.
I've got something else to say about Amy Irving, but I'll bring that back in a bit.
Yeah.
William Catt as Tommy Ross. He is the greatest American hero.
Is it?
You know the greatest American hero?
No.
You'll definitely know it when you see it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know it either.
Well, I'm pretty sure they just cast him because of that smile he does.
He's
No, it's the
beautiful.
hair.
The hair
Yeah.
and the smile. It's the
Beautiful man.
Yeah.
You may not know the name the greatest American hero, but you know the greatest American hero.
Oh shit.
Oh, fantastic.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Also in the James Gunn movie Super. Nancy Allen as Chris Hargensen. She is in RoboCop and a couple other Brian De Palma films.
Yeah, she's in Dress to Kill and
Yeah.
and I don't know if she's in this.
She's in Blowout, I believe.
Yeah, she's in
Yeah.
Blowout.
She's also in another Stephen King sort of adaptation that we're going to be talking about later on.
Very cool.
That's all I'm going to say.
Oh.
But if you look at my notes, you'll see the answer. PJ Souls as Norma. She is in Halloween and The Devil's Rejects. She's the one who wears the hat all the time.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Oh
Love
yeah,
that
yeah,
hat.
yeah.
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 I love how she customizes all her outfits to have a little bit of red and
Yeah.
you know, that's cute.
What I really like as well, she still owns that hat to this day.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
wears
That's
it in
cool.
the interviews.
Oh, that's
That's
cool.
nice.
Yeah. Betty Buckley, who is in the movie The Happening.
Yeah.
She's also recently in the movie Eternity.
Which one?
She's Miss Collins.
Very cool.
Oh,
She also plays Margaret White in the original production of the musical.
Yes, I believe so.
really?
Yeah.
Let me double check which production that was, but I'm pretty sure it was
Stratford upon Avon.
Buckley.
one.
Yeah. Oh no, Broadway.
Broadway. Oh.
So yeah, she might have been in Stratford as well, but she was
Interesting.
definitely on the Broadway.
And last but not least, John Travolta in his motion picture
Hey.
debut. He
His
plays
debut.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
The trailers
The
specifically.
trailer's
say
like introducing John Travolta in his first motion picture.
When was Grease?
78.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Oh, so a couple
I think
years ago.
Saturday Night Fever was 77.
Oh, okay.
so-
So he had
Oh,
a killer
Korea.
run.
Yeah, love John Travolta.
Yeah. He obviously in Saturday Night Fever, which he
Yeah.
got nominated for an Oscar for, and Grease, as you said. This was released in the US.
Oh, wait, there's one more. The teacher guy, the one who's balding, he's in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh, is
okay.
he?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I wasn't really going to bring him up because he
He's
only
big.
really has
Yeah.
that
No,
one
because I
scene,
saw
but
him in
yeah.
the classroom and I was just like, where have we seen him in recent? It was Cuckoo's
Cuckoo's
Nest.
Nest. That makes sense.
There definitely are other actors
Yeah,
in
there's
this.
more people, but like
But-
those are the main ones.
Yeah. Anyway, this was released in the US, limited on November 3rd, 1976, went wide on November 16th, released in the UK in January the 13th, 1977. After its release, it would get nominated for 2 Academy Awards.
Oh, damn. I did not picture this.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Both in acting, Best Actress Sissy Spacek and Best Supporting Actress Piper Laurie.
Yeah. that's
Neither of them won.
No.
They both lost to the movie Network, Faye Dunaway in lead and Beatrice Straight in supporting.
Was this like, maybe, was it just like a thing in the 70s where there wasn't such a begrudging to horror films being nominated for anything?
Yeah.
I mean, like, on the back
Obviously,
of The Exorcist.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I was
Exorcist.
thinking then after this. That's genuinely really surprising.
I think it's still like few and far between when it comes to horror movies. But I think there are times when the Academy will do like, especially acting for horror.
Especially Stephen King with like obviously
Misery.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident at this stage Amy Madigan is going to get a nomination for Weapons, whether or not
that'd be cool.
The performance. But she's got a lot of precursors at this stage, so the tide could be turning. I know.
Hopefully. I only recently found out because I didn't keep up with the Oscars as much as you two. Toni Collette. I genuinely just thought that she had been nominated.
No, that was a huge snub. Yeah. Even to this day.
Yeah.
They could nominate her this year and I'd be happy.
Yeah. But
she's great.
We had Demi Moore.
Demi Moore last year.
Yeah.
So maybe things are changing.
But
but it's just surprising this early on.
Yeah.
Off the back of like the Exorcist that they were just like
Piper Laurie, her last performance in The Hustler, she got nominated for an Oscar for. So I don't know if that helped, bringing in like a prestige name.
Yeah, because I think especially like when I talk about the musical later, especially the UK's general opinions on horror as a whole, and like obviously theatre and films are different mediums, but a lot of the reporters at the time just referred to Carrie as like pulp cinema.
Yeah, that's what I think is just generally surprising, just given the nature of the film and the style of the performances. Are like they're not exactly like I could understand with like The Exorcist or something, where it's like the whole William Friedkin thing is that it's like a horror film, but it's like incredibly like gritty. It's like an American New Wave. With Carrie, with Brian De Palma, his whole shtick is like doing an Alfred Hitchcock, like almost like a 50s homage.
Yeah.
So seeing like this being appraised as it is, it's like quite surprising.
Yeah, it's it's a shocker. Like obviously neither of them won.
But still, at the time,
Piper Laurie would get another Oscar nomination a few years later for Children of a Lesser God, and obviously Sissy Spacek would win an Oscar a few years later for Coal Miner's Daughter. She's even been nominated like 2 or 3 more times since. She's, this was her first Oscar nomination. I think genuinely bringing in Piper Laurie did kind of like sell this as like, oh, this is like a proper.
This is a prestige picture.
Yeah. And especially, considering she hadn't acted in 15 years, and her last film was The Hustler.
Yeah.
I'm glad, you say she came out of retirement, and I'm guessing she just sort of stayed out of it, considering she was in, like, Twin Peaks. Really?
No, she like, after this, she just came back into acting.
Oh, cool.
Like, she was in the movie Ruby, which was...
Yeah, I know. Just, like, she stuck around, obviously, because she was in Twin Peaks.
Yeah. She plays 2 characters in Twin Peaks.
Yes, she does.
She does.
Thanks, David.
The budget for this, originally it was given a budget of 1.6 million. That was then increased to 1.8 million, which in today's money would be approximately 10.2 million.
So really low still.
So really quite low, yeah. As far as returns, though, really rather successful. Earned 33.8 million, which today would be about 192.8. So 19 times its budget.
That's insane.
That's
mad.
Going to the bank with all those money bags.
Yeah. Bring back the £10 million productions. Bring back the £1 million production. Bring back just give me money.
Don't spend 400 million on Stranger Things.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the finale. I know Joe has, and you may speak to this, but every single thing I've seen is just like, why the fuck does it look like that? Why does it look like piss?
They have to give all the money to the actors, so otherwise they'll talk about all the abuse on set.
I was telling Viv about this during the final battle of Stranger Things when the CGI monster is there. There would be like one shot where I'm like, that's pretty impressive, immediately followed by one of the worst looking shots I've ever seen. And I'm pretty fair in terms of media, just in general. If it keeps me entertained, I don't even notice. So the fact that I was there just being like, oh my god, Finn Wolfhard could not be more in front of a green screen right now.
Yeah.
Like they're not even there together. It's just mad.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
But Hollywood accounting and money and whatnot.
It's all a laundering scheme.
Yeah, it's all bullshit.
But the reason I knew the figure earlier when you were asking about money, at 2,500, what that'd be today, is because that's also the same amount he got given for the film rights.
Oh really?
Yeah. That's right.
Oh, he doubled up.
Yeah. So, obviously, it was the first of his published and the first to be adapted to the screen. Production company was Red Bank Films, who did this for United Artists, who would go bankrupt a few years later, I believe they were the ones who bankrolled Heaven's Gate.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
So
That's like one of the major film flops of the time.
Yeah,
okay.
huge. It's the same guy who did Deer Hunter.
It was like considered like the end of like the new Hollywood
Yeah,
movement.
it stopped them like giving money to auteurs and stuff.
That's like the ET of movies.
I guess.
You know, like the ET video game that was like,
Oh, right.
it was like
yeah.
this killed video games.
Yeah. So that's why it went to MGM.
Yeah, there it is.
But MGM are now owned by Amazon. So I guess
Awesome.
that kind of explains why the series has been developed there.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
there
of
we go.
course, yeah, because Flanagan works with Amazon now.
Yeah. Obviously, the book is set in Maine. The film was shot in California. They don't say explicitly where it's set in the movie. Kind of just open up to interpretation.
Yeah.
It's just meant to represent anywhere in the US.
What was Steven's opinions at the time? What do you want to say that for later?
Liked it.
Did he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good.
I mean, he in our not last episode, the episode before the Shining 97 one, we did kind of joke that he said to Mick Garris, would you want to direct The Shining for TV if Brian De Palma says no? So
so he must have liked enough for him wanting to do another project of his.
He has said he prefers the film to the book.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fair.
Which,
Like I said, he's not that fond of the book himself.
Yeah.
You know?
I can understand as well, since it's like your first one and you've written so much afterwards. But still, I don't think it's anything spaces like. I think you should be quite. I think you should be quite proud of it, Stephen.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't read it, but you know, I think he should be proud.
Yeah.
I mean, I would make a podcast about the guy. The reason this was made, Brian De Palma was recommended the book by a writer friend of his, who happened to also be friends with King. De Palma liked the book and began contacting his agent so they could go around to the studios and find out who owned the rights. Turns out nobody did. But when he expressed interest, they were like, okay, let's see if we got this going. Nothing happened for 6 months.
Oh.
And then United Artists bought it, hired Brian De Palma, and they had commissioned the script from Lawrence D. Cohen, which is said to resemble the book a lot more closely. So I don't know if that does mean
like the intercussion, the
intermission.
Yeah,
so,
I don't know, but based on De Palma's requests, they did another draft, and De Palma said it was like in really good shape.
Yeah.
Before he even came in, so
that's really interesting. Considering, obviously, I'll talk more about it later. But I've already said about how the both musical adaptations kind of bear more of a resemblance to the book than the film, and obviously they were written by Lawrence Cohen as well.
Yeah. He seems like a very interesting guy. Like in the interviews, he's very like generous and intelligently, speaks intelligently. Not like me right now.
Is he still alive?
Yeah, I believe so.
He's
He's also credited on the 2013 Carrie, at least on IMDb, but he wasn't on the back of the Blu-ray. So who knows? I don't know if he did write anything for that. But do you know the story about the casting of this movie?
I don't think so.
Okay. So they were casting this in 1976. They filmed it in like May.
Yeah.
So early 76. Brian De Palma was prepping this, and he had a friend who was also prepping a film at the same time, and they needed like unknown actors for both productions around the same age. So him and his friend just auditioned actors together for both their films, and they would like each pick out like the actors they like. That friend was George Lucas, who was auditioning actors for Star Wars.
Oh my god!
That's wild.
So Star Wars and Carrie, it's so weird.
Well, it's part of the new Hollywood at the time.
Yeah,
it's just like the same group of people who went to like California to study film. This was like the new generation.
Yeah, I mean, famously, you've got De Palma, Spielberg, Lucas, Scorsese, Coppola.
Yeah. All these people just like learning together. It's insane.
It's really funny because earlier when I was mentioning how Carrie is an old-fashioned name, I didn't even think of I was like, I can name one famous Carrie. I can name two. Carrie Fisher.
We just watched not Meg Ryan.
No, we were just watching
When Harry Met Sally is the name of the movie.
I did say to you as soon as it finished, I spent the whole time thinking, what the fuck is her name? Because I couldn't remember it.
The woman from Scream 3.
Yeah. Oh God, I forgot she was in that one.
If you like Carrie Fisher, you should watch Hannah and Her Sisters. It's a Woody Allen film.
Yeah.
Okay.
Woody Allen wasn't part of that troupe. Although, Scorsese and Coppola did New York Stories. Yeah. So he's an outsider.
They're friends. Yeah, they're friends.
He's on the bubble.
He's on the plane going to Epstein's Island.
Oh.
Well, from what I heard in this as well, when they were talking about.
Oh God!
Before
what did Brian do?
No.
Oh, thank God.
It's nothing to do with Brian De Palma, actually. But before he was hired, they were just like floating ideas, like, who could like direct this? It was floated at one point to get Roman Polanski.
Oh,
interesting.
Imagine him directing that opening scene.
Yeah.
Oh.
Nah. They're too old for him.
Oh no! Oh God, that's a good one.
Yikes. But speaking of Star Wars, William Catt actually was like one of the finalists for Luke Skywalker. He did a screen test for Luke with Kurt Russell, who was doing Han Solo. Obviously, they didn't get it, but William Catt got this. Kurt Russell.
What's he even up to?
Never heard of the guy.
Yeah.
No.
Never heard of the guy. Sissy Spacek was not the original choice. That was Betsy Slade. Don't know.
Awesome.
But Jack Fisk, who was already going to be the production designer, convinced De Palma to let his wife, if they were married at that time, audition.
If I was, what's the name?
Sissy Spacek?
No, the other one.
Betsy Slade?
And I learned that just some guys were just like, nah, I cast my wife, I kick the fuck off.
To be fair, though, if your wife is Sissy Spacek.
Yeah, that's true. Hi, my wife.
Yeah.
Hi, my wife.
She showed up to the audition. She really wanted this. She'd read the book.
I know this bit.
Like multiple times before the audition. She even dropped out of a commercial which was going to pay just to do the audition. So she showed up, face unwashed, Vaseline in her hair, wearing a sailor dress that her mother made her with like the hem cut out. And she was hired.
Yeah.
Just she didn't have to say anything. They just looked at her, just like, all right.
Yeah.
That's just what I mean in terms
wow,
of...
your wife is fugly.
Well, that's what I mean in terms of, she's a model, but like, she sort of knows how to...
She knows how to, she knows how to like control the character.
Yeah.
Like betray her.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's just got a very interesting facial features. Like,
yeah.
I know me and Viv discussed.
She has great eyes.
Yeah.
Her eyes, yeah.
I don't know if we discussed it when we saw The Straight Story in cinemas. I'm sure we did, but we talked about it a lot.
Yeah.
But when we saw The Brutalist, like, afterwards we would, or like, maybe in the intermission, we were just like, God, Adrian Brody is so angular.
Yeah.
It's just like so interesting. Like,
we talked about this for a bit yesterday, didn't we? Where we just talked about like interesting features on people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well, because we were constructing our own.
Yeah, we were constructing the
we're just trying to
between us.
Yeah. Tis I the best knees.
Yeah. I had the calves, I think, didn't I? Was it my calves?
Something like that.
I got the good feet.
Yeah, you've got the best feet.
That's the one that makes money.
Yeah.
If anybody wants feet pics,
that's what
get them elsewhere.
If we ever have a Patreon, that's the first thing that's going up is your feet pics.
Yeah. We're gonna have an exclusive podcast, which is just me stepping on different things every episode.
Oh,
gross.
Free Foley library for our films. The last person to audition for a role was Nancy Allen, who would play Chris Parkinson.
Yeah.
She obviously got the role and married Brian De Palma 3 years later.
Oh, so that's why she shows up later.
Yeah.
Wow.
Also,
yeah.
Amy Irving, who plays Sue Snell, she met her future husband on this movie.
Was it John Travolta?
No.
Who was it?
Steven Spielberg.
Oh, really?
Oh,
yeah.
really?
Oh, wait, they were married? I'm guessing they divorced.
Yeah. Well, they dated from 1976 when they met. I think he came into post-production to help on this, and they met a screening or something. They dated for 4 years. They broke up and she lost the role of Marion in Raiders of the Lost Ark as a result.
Oh,
They got back together years later, and they got married in 1985, and they lived happily ever after until 1989. They were divorced.
what a year!
No, 4 years.
Oh, 4 years. Sorry, I thought you said 8 years.
Also, De Palma and Alan divorced after 5 years of marriage.
But Sissy Spacek and Trajectories
They're still
going strong.
together.
That's good.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's nice.
50 years on.
Oh, that is nice then.
Yeah. So
Maybe just being a director makes you hard to be around.
yeah, I mean, there's a reason why James Cameron's had like 28
Yeah,
wives.
but he never shit talks his wife. He always bigs them up. You gotta give him
Yeah. He still works with his wives even after like
Yeah.
the divorce, you know?
even though he's taking credit for the Point Break.
Yeah.
It's a little weird, but you know.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he did write it.
Yeah, sure. But he didn't just like, I made that.
Yeah. So obviously this kind of had it got nominated for Oscars. That's a good sign. But a lot of people did criticize the fact that it was Brian De Palma directing, and this was a movie about, womanhood.
A man directing it.
Yeah.
Were they criticizing it even then?
Less so in the immediate aftermath, but in the 80s, there was a bit more of this is kind of not really a feminist film.
Yeah,
The
people have seen John Dillman at this point, and they were just like, this isn't this.
Yeah. The tide has sort of changed. A lot of people do see this more fondly, and some people do view it as a feminist film. Mostly off the back of the book Men, Women, and Chainsaws by Carol J. Clover.
I've seen that.
Now, I haven't read this book, but I was turned on to it from the commentary track on this Blu-ray. So there's two people on the commentary. Lee Gambin, who has written a book about Cujo and a book about Christine.
I was going to say, I know that name.
But specifically, Alexandra Heller Nicholas, who has written books about Abel Ferreira,
Oh, really?
and Dario Argento.
Oh, shit, I gotta read these.
Yeah. The commentary track on this is great.
Okay.
I would say you're welcome to borrow it, but you don't have a 4K player.
I don't have a 4K TV, so I don't see the
But you don't need a 4K TV.
I don't need a 4K disc. I'll get the DVD.
We can watch it together. We can watch them all together.
Yeah. No. They bring up really good points. It's far more intelligent than me. If you want to hear proper intellectuals analyze things, that's the place to go.
If you want a slightly more dumbed down version of all these great articles that we read, stick around.
Yeah. Yeah. Just she talks about how for her specifically that was she realized that some people weren't as fortunate and didn't get the sex education they needed for she tells personal stories of how she was prepared and she knew what her period was, but obviously there are people who don't, and it's kind of a horrific experience.
Do you know when those special features were made?
So as far as the commentary, I don't know exactly. There's special features across multiple releases of Carrie on this. I've got the Arrow Video release, which came out in 2024.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of special features from the 25th anniversary DVD, a lot from the Shout or Scream Factory 2016 release, and then more from 2024. So it's either 2016 or 2024.
Yeah, because you're saying that got me thinking, because one of the things I thought while reading and watching it is just about how realistic it could be that a girl would go this long without knowing about her period. But then I know obviously I'm in the British education system, that I think the earliest sex ed is in year 5 or 6, it's around 10 years old. So before most, if not all, girls would actually have their periods. Obviously there might be one or two outliers. But I was thinking about the American education system, because I've granted something I don't know a lot about, but I have a rough understanding. And it did make me think of actually, especially now, it's very prevalent on how sex education has kind of taken a step back as in America, where I think it's on the syllabus, but any parent can opt out if they want to. So it's interesting to think of like, oh yeah, it is fully realistic. They could make this nowadays and it would be believable that Carrie could go her whole life if her mother opted out, and which would be in character for Margaret
Like
White.
for the 2013 one, it's like, obviously I haven't seen it, you'd think she would know about a period. But now it's just like, Carrie's mother could be like, no, take her out of that. I'll show her the PragerU videos about it.
Yeah, genuinely. I mean, it's relevant in a lot of the adaptations as well, where they just keep saying, like, how could she not know? Yeah. But, a lot of, unfortunately, not everyone gets the education they need.
Yeah, and it's, I'm not going to be the one to have the final word on this as the cis white man.
I will.
Okay.
I'll take the burden. Okay. No, I'm joking.
That's a lot off my chest.
As the designated femme cell of the group, I have a lot to say about this.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, thing is, some people think it's a feminist movie, some people don't.
I've seen arguments for both, and this is what I'm going to try to be grappling when we go into like some form of analysis.
Yeah. Do we want to go into analysis, or do we just want to go like general thoughts?
Yeah, let's go general thoughts first. Okay. I've already expressed that this is like one of my favorite films. I absolutely adore this. I think it's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this. There's a lot that I admire. I really like the performances. We'll get on to the music shortly, which I think this might be one of, if not the strongest King adaptations I've seen musically.
Yeah.
It's just, I love that soundtrack so much. Capturing the place and time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very, it feels like a companion piece to Christine as well.
Do you think so?
They do feel like similar things. Like they kind of like both trade on like greaser 1950s culture.
Yeah, that's true actually.
And they're both about these like outcast like guys with girls or with acne.
Yeah, you
scars.
can see them as like, I mean, they both start with female names with the letter C, so there's that connection. But also there is that genuine thing of just like these two people they're being viewed as an outcast, and how they choose to like fight back against that, and how that can sort of destroy everything around them.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. I think Arnie and Carrie do have a lot in common.
Yeah.
In terms of my general thoughts, I think this is fantastic to the point where it's hard to even say much about it. Like, I think the acting, the way it's shot, I really want to go into depth about like Brian's actual directing of it, because I think his choices in this are fascinating. Yeah, and like you said, the music as well.
Even down to the editing as well. Like specifically, like obviously everyone knows the prom scene.
Yeah.
But like it's a fucking masterclass of just like, here's like the shot, even like one long unbroken take where it takes you around the room and goes up and shows you the bucket of blood.
Yeah. Like as soon as it gets that, I just get goosebumps.
It's a masterclass. And even then with like the intercutting of like the split screen, which is a very, you don't see it in every film.
It's kind of works so well in this.
But it helps you understand the geography of the scene instantly.
And I think it's so effective having like one of them just be Carrie and like really focusing on her.
Yeah,
in
and
that
like
moment.
the play of colors on this. Okay, so there's been like a lot written about like Brian De Palma's like directing style, and like we were alluding to this before, but like a big influence he has is like, and a lot of people have on this, is like French New Wave, and specifically their love of Hitchcock films.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's a cliche to talk about Brian De Palma and Hitchcock, but they use like the same sort of style in that sort of like holding on to like a scene for as long as possible. Like for example, like the bucket scene.
Yes.
Yeah. Whereas like it's gonna happen. The same with like the idea of showing a bomb and then playing out an entire scene, so it just continuously builds that suspense. I think he uses his skills to the best with this. I think the script works so well for it, where you're just holding on to a comedic point. And what I think is interesting about Brian De Palma, similar to like David Lynch as well, where it's so sincere at points that it comes across as comedic, but that's like totally intentional, I feel.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And like the whole formalism of it, of just like all these filters of just like this film is glowing. Like it looks like a memory, and obviously you have that opening that a lot of people take issue with, and I can understand, but I think it's supposed to be this sort of like immature depiction of femininity, which makes sense for what Carrie's going through.
Yeah, it's a lot of ways you can read it. I know, obviously, I think like one of the top letterbox reviews is just like, some people need to tell directors from the 70s you don't need to have like naked teens.
I know, I understand the gripe.
I completely get it. But it's kind of like, it disarms you in a way that the movie is starting with this.
Yeah, it starts
right
with
off
this.
the bat.
It's got that huge, beautiful swelling score.
Yeah.
I also
goes
think
through.
it's really relevant, the fact of we see the other girls just naked, outright, running around naked, and then you see Carrie isolated, covering her body.
It's a good way of like separating that.
Yeah, and really, depending on your point of view, that's our introduction to the antagonists, the monsters of the piece.
Yeah.
And we are seeing them in their most
vulnerable.
Yeah. But what would be the most vulnerable? But then you've got like the girls like running around being silly, like they're obviously they're not uncomfortable.
Yeah, they're like content with it.
They're sort of innocent in the way that they are just pure in quotations and
I've seen like a lot of like back and forth between this and whether it can be feminist with this, specifically with like a male director. And there's been a lot written about like the male gaze and Brian De Palma, because a lot of people view him as like sort of, although he uses elements of it, he does it through a detached lens, because in a similar way that say like Hitchcock does, he like in Rear View, have you seen Rear Window?
I haven't, I don't think.
He uses like he uses the voyeuristic techniques of like 50s cinema, but it frames it in a way is that the character's looking at it, so it makes you sort of feel self-conscious in it. And like Brian De Palma uses that in other films of his, like Sisters, like I don't know if it's Dressed to Kill. It might be
Body Double?
I think it's Body Double, yeah. Where it's like he uses like a ton of these things that would be considered. It's in Blowout as well, where like a thing that is like framed as being male gazy, but then it pulls back and reveals, in fact, this is like metatextual. This is about people making this sort of thing.
I personally don't feel like it is that exploitative in this,
no, I don't
because
think so.
it doesn't seem like they are showing you this for the sake of it's not sexualized then.
Well, that's
it's
exactly
just
what
nudity.
I wanted to say. I've have opinions about this. It's always weird to word, especially because it's not a conversation that comes up a lot. But just about nudity in general, of how like, frankly, sexualized just the human body is. And obviously context always matters. There is definitely like the male gaze exists. That's just a fact, and that's very prevalent in a lot of media. It's even interesting. Yesterday, First Time Flies, we talked about Arrow, and in one of the bonus features of Arrow, they talk about Stephen Amell, the main actor's body, and he's fucking chiseled. And one of the producer guys is just like, you can't even enjoy it from a sexual standpoint because he's got all these scars, and it's like, he has a couple of scars on him, but he's still an extremely attractive man.
No, that's...
But just in terms of like you said about sexualizing it, it's like, they are girls. It's in a changing room. I go to the gym a lot, and I go swimming a lot, and I won't walk around with my dick out, but I will dress comfortably. I will shower, and I will put my clothes on. I will be naked. And I've spoken to some of our other friends about that who've come swim with me. And my logic is just always like, this is a context where it makes sense. It's like, I'm not looking at other people. I'm just sorting myself out. And I feel like the same with the girls in this, where it's like, yeah, you could definitely shoot this in a way where it is exploitative. And I can picture in the wrong director's hands this scene where these girls are naked for the voyeurism of the audience.
Yeah.
But this isn't like a Porky's or a Revenge of the Nerds. Or, or even like a Friday the 13th.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's like worth saying as well, this is like during the New Hollywood, and these people are coming post the sexual revolution of the 60s, which has been criticized to hell and back, and I think justifiably so. However, I think with this sort of thing, I do think it is sort of playing with the male gaze, considering the subject matter.
But that's what I mean, in the sense of like, these women are naked, but they're just naked. That's just their bodies.
Yeah.
It's not...
And with the score, it does play kind of funny. It's just like, it's almost silly. Like how they're running in slow motion. All this steam is going through. It looks like a fantasy, if anything.
The TV edit.
It's just, I want to see the plain edit of this.
The TV edit is basically the same, except they're all wearing stuff in there. And also they change the colour of the text from red to white. And also instead of being to the side, it's like right in the center of the screen because obviously it's made for like a small tube TV.
That was one thing I will say about mine because I have
So if you
the
don't like
widescreen.
it, maybe the TV edit.
I have the widescreen VHS. I'm watching it on my Square CRT. It's really funny because there was just the occasional text that was not on screen.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, only a little bit, but yeah.
But not just with that, but like the rest of the film, like obviously you had that climactic scene in the prom and that, which is just fantastic.
Yeah.
But the scenes with like Carrie and her mum and whatever, where it could be like a tricky balancing act considering like the nature of the way it's depicting these sort of things, where it is showing like something quite horrific.
Yeah.
But you get that sort of similar thing with like Lynch, with like say a Blue Velvet.
Yeah.
Where you're watching like the most horrific abuse possible, but it's pushing it back and forth, where it's making you, it's kind of funny, it's incredibly horrific, so you're not really sure how to respond.
Yeah, I've seen very recent conversations about people and their relationship to Blue Velvet. They've shown it at the BFI.
I did see that. I'm surprised because it was like a similar thing when we went to go see it in
Prince Charles.
In the Prince Charles. People were quite a lot of people were laughing for like quite because like his tone is quite odd.
Yeah,
and not a lot of people. It's been like
it's very disarming.
Well. So a lot of his actors like admit it as well. Even he does. It's just like it's gonna make you feel uncomfortable, so you're not really reacting. And some people get very annoyed.
Yeah,
with like when we're in cinemas and like quite a few people are like chuckling because one guy did kick off. He was like, "Stop fucking laughing!"
Really?
Yeah, he got mad.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
then fucking Wilder Heart started, and everyone was cackling. So I think he just gave up.
Really, it'd be interesting to watch them in cinema in the coming weeks.
Yeah,
they're very odd circumstances. Like obviously, people are gonna have a natural reaction. I know when I saw Midsummer, specifically the scene where he's breeding.
No, that's funny.
That is funny.
That
is funny. But it's kind of. The laughter isn't like this is funny. It's just kind of like an awkward laughter.
No,
I saw something
do this all the
recently.
time. Yeah,
it might. I don't even know if it was a version of Carrie. Maybe
SpongeBob.
No, it definitely wasn't SpongeBob.
The horrors of humanity.
No, where it's like someone does something horrific and then they laugh. They just laugh afterwards when they get called out because they just don't know how else to respond.
Yeah,
and just like
we do this all the time when we go see like a horror film and it's like the most goriest thing that someone can imagine. Yeah. My initial reaction, I'm not trying to be edgy or anything, but it is to this sort of thing. It's just kind of chuckle.
Even just, I feel like people get really disarmed.
You were laughing when we were watching the PSAs.
Yeah.
Just like murdering children and going to a substation or something.
But it is generally, I think it's the same thing. It's you just don't know how to react sometimes. And I think that disarms people as well when the vibe isn't fully clear. Random example, I've seen people criticize weapons for like, oh, it starts out really scary, but then it gets too weird. And it's like, but yeah, that's a conscious choice. Like, the end, spoilers for weapons, skip 10 seconds, the end scene with children tearing Gladys apart. It's like, that's fucking hilarious.
No, that's framed as a comedy.
Yeah, but people just don't know how to respond. I remember when we watched Get Out for the first time, and I didn't know what to think, because I had never experienced a film like that, where it was like,
so funny and so horrific
at the same time.
Yeah.
That I just kind of chalked it up to like,
bad directing.
Whereas obviously now I fucking love Jordan Peele, but like at the time, because what year was that?
2017. 9 years ago.
Yeah, so we were nearing adults, but still like early adulthood.
Yeah, we weren't just like into like this many films.
Yeah, where I just didn't really know how to respond to that.
Maybe this was just their first response to something like that.
Yeah, genuinely.
Everybody's got to have their first Get Out.
Yeah, because I think of the scene, for example, like the prom scene after Carrie gets bucketed. Where like the laughing starts and it's like
it's a kaleidoscope.
It's kind of like nonsensical, dream sequency, horrific, like nightmare. But it's also so much. It's like it is kind of overwhelming.
Yeah. No, I think it portrays that very well.
Yeah.
But like going back to like that sort of mother, like daughter, like that sort of depiction of that kind of thing. I think it does do that like very well. And obviously you get the whole death thing. I think in the book it's tragic. In the film, it's comical.
Yeah.
Over the top. Kind of genius.
Yeah, it's an ironic beauty to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I seen like a bunch of people like how like this whole story is about like obviously repression. Like obviously the repression you get in school, the sexual repression that a lot of people feel at the time, the sexual repression that the mother goes through, as well. And that the only orgasm she'll ever get is the one when she's just like being crucified.
Yeah.
And the same like what's her name? Chris. Like she orgasms basically like in the film. It's like a simulated one, but
do you know what's great? Completely like not really like tackling any like really like deep themes or anything. I think it's really funny when she's giving John Travolta.
I thought that's what you were going to say.
I fucking hate Carrie White. What a hater you must be to do that while just like
she's also
giving
she's so vocal giving head.
Yeah,
like
she's so good. She'd be
where's she putting it?
Yeah.
She's a very good ventriloquist.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's able to like Brian De Palma's like able to get these very specific performances though. The work so well in this specific context. But also, I just love how he shoots scenes. He chooses such strange angles a lot of the time, and it makes it feel so alien. Like it makes sense like later on with like the prom and that it does like the whole kaleidoscope of things, and then you got that really cool like split like 2 panels going through the entire time, and all those colors. It just like
moving.
It's that's fantastic. But even like earlier scenes, like how the classrooms are depicted, and you get those very obvious split diopters, which we're huge proponents for.
Yeah,
love that.
Love split diopter. I'm gonna be fucking fuming if Mike Flanagan does not use a single split diopter.
He better use like 20.
I'll be messaging him.
Maybe he's like he would think just like if I do it, it's too much of an homage. But then it's just like,
but it's him. He likes split diopters.
Yeah,
it's how I got him to respond to me was by asking us about split diopters.
But he uses them in such like a smart way, like keeping these characters so it's so alien. You don't see a ton of these techniques in films these days, and it's such a shame because people are so scared of making them look like old or because at the time, because he's using like these techniques that have been around since like the Hitchcock days, but he's just using them in a new context, and people are so scared of making them look old and outdated that they're just like missing out on ways of presenting these things, and I think it looks fantastic.
One thing I will say, just like in regards to the cinematography, you never feel like it is 2 separate cinematographers. They both have like distinct, like obviously the prom and the school look different to Carrie's home, but you don't feel like it's someone else who's crafted the image.
No.
Which I think is quite commendable, but also it does give like a good contrast.
No, it's like showing like these 2 different environments in such a way.
Yeah. One thing I found out is the opening scene. There was originally a prologue scene with a young, like 3-year-old Carrie seeing a neighbor sunbathing in the nude.
That's in the book. Yeah,
and she rains down the stones.
And, the book starts with the rain of stones,
and that kind of was meant to come back at the end, but we'll get onto that.
Yeah,
it didn't. I feel like that. I'm kind of glad that was cut because I do like the introduction. Just straight away, you see Carrie on the volleyball and then it's into the bathroom. But also for Margaret White's first scene being when she's selling the Bible books, going like door to door. That and just like, oh, is that Carrie White's mother? That tells you everything you really need to know about her.
I think that's quite interesting. I think that one scene feels quite different from like what she would do in the book. In the book, she is the most aggressive person that's ever existed. I don't feel as though she would communicate with anyone.
She's very, very isolated in the book.
Yeah. So honestly, just seeing her speak to someone in this way was genuinely actually quite surprising.
Yeah, but I think it's effective.
That scene has never been seen. It's believed to have been lost at this point in time.
That's fair. I'm glad it didn't include that. I mean, I think it's really interesting just how the powers progress in terms of how obviously we see Carrie's use of them in the different adaptations, especially just how they choose to show them, essentially. Like starting with the light shattering.
Like literally starting as soon as the period starts, basically, and having a big emotional burst.
Always punctuated by a key piece of music.
Yes.
Again, with his Hitchcock, he just can't have that.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like he'd worked previously with Bernard Herrmann, and he wanted Bernard Herrmann to do the score for this.
What did Bernard Herrmann do for him?
Sisters?
Did it?
No. Obsession? Something. He had done something for him already. It might have been Obsession, probably. But he was doing Taxi Driver at the time, and quite famously, he didn't finish the Taxi Driver score. He passed away.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's why Bernard Herrmann didn't score this. But that was the original.
The man was
idea.
cooking fire on that Taxi Driver soundtrack as well.
Yeah. But just going into the music, I do want to talk about this.
It's
so good.
It's like two different scores. You get the classical, like beautiful orchestration that plays in like the beginning, like and then you get this. I think it's wonderful, like synth rendition of the score.
Yeah.
Which it's a completely like contrasting emotion, but given like the scenes that they played along with, I think they work very, very well.
It's really interesting how like the melodies remain the same. Like you've got Carrie's theme, you've got her mother's theme.
Yeah.
You know, they the same throughout, but they throw in like different instruments and different like motifs. Like Carrie's theme, at least to begin with, is mostly like woodwind instruments, and her mother is like very operatic. It's a lot of organs and brass.
Yeah, it's very church.
Yeah. Which, you know, thematically makes sense. But then you also got like the goofy penis music.
The fucking goofy.
You know, the two instances where they do that are just really like.
Okay. Oh wait, like when they speed up the chattering, which is a genius choice.
Really funny choice.
Yeah. The song, I think it's called Synesthetics. It's when they do the gymnastics. They did remove that from the CD release of the soundtrack.
No,
because they were just like, it kind of like it doesn't fit in the mood of the film, but also just like on like a soundtrack basically. In the film, it's just like that's kind of the levity in between the darkness.
I think just had it as a bonus track right at the end.
Yeah, put it at the end. I can see why they wouldn't want it to open with that.
But Pino Donaggio also did, wrote the actual like music with like lyrics and stuff that appears like in the dance scene.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh cool.
So I adore this score. Just like everything about it, just like the melodies are just like so like.
No,
it's weird to say they feel comforting.
No, they do. It's like romantic.
I think especially like the opening track.
Yeah. With everything in slow motion as well.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Like even when they're playing it, when they're dancing, just like you kind of forget to an extent that he's not doing this because he actually is. What he's saying to Carrie is like.
But it's contrasted so well by the fact that they're fucking spinning for like 60 minutes. It's just like it's dizzying to an uncomfortable degree.
It's beautiful, and what like we've talked about like the prom scene, like the build up of the bucket, just like that is just such a masterclass in music. Like going from like these like themes, like
it's like cutting back and forth between.
And as like obviously the camera works beautiful, the editing, the direction, but it's like. All together, it's like I'm literally getting goosebumps.
Yeah, no,
like my hair's standing on edge.
It's like two separate films are being cut between, and they're about to smash into each other.
In
such
100%. A way. You could definitely edit this to make it just like a story of a girl going to prom. I know you said about the Marge Simpson joke, but it is interesting how.
But if you cut out the whole Chris stuff, it could just be like a very lovely coming of age story.
But that's why it's so effective then when it does get mashed together.
Yeah.
And then obviously the sound design as well to shout out during the prom scene.
Yeah.
The destruction of like the electricity, the water.
Yeah. You get the like the Psycho inspired string cuts.
Yeah.
As everything's happening. It's just amazing. It's just like every element of it just works so well to build to this one point. Where it feels like this one scene so like overshadows like the rest of the film, but because it is basically just leading up to this one moment and everything that comes after it.
It'd be so interesting to hear a story of someone watching this. Obviously, because the experience is different to the book, because you know that it's going to happen in the book.
Yeah.
I'd love to speak to someone who would just watch this and not know how it ends.
Yeah.
And just see that play out. Like, I mean, it was bound to happen. I mean, especially at the time, I'm sure there were people who didn't know.
I also like the fact that Sue was actually there, like from the thing, because she was just home, wasn't she?
Yeah, there are different interpretations by like when the movie, like they do what the movie did, where Sue's there, and especially when she tries to stop it.
She gets like thrown out just before it all goes to shit.
Yeah. Do you what do you think in terms of the people laughing? I choose to think that like Norma is actually laughing.
That's
and
what
that triggers Carrie to think everyone is.
That's how I took, because in the book, literally everyone just laughs.
Yeah. And I actually kind of like the idea of
Also,
like it's more tragic for everyone
Yeah.
if like it's Carrie isn't like they're not actually all laughing at Carrie.
mm,
It's just these. It's mostly like these select.
It's just,
few
it's just your
people.
mind. Like if you
Yeah.
see someone laughing, you're thinking everyone's laughing.
Yeah, I think especially because isn't there a shot of the teacher laughing as
Yeah.
well?
yeah, but she
Yeah.
wouldn't have done it.
No,
I
no.
don't think so anyway.
I don't
Because
think
like
so.
in the book, it was said like she did like chuckle or something, didn't she?
Yeah, but
'Cause she
again,
was
it's like the awkwardness, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's,
I really like her. Like I know
Yeah.
her name's changed in the
Yeah,
film. She's
I get why.
Desjardins.
yeah,
in the
I get
book.
why.
Miss Collins now.
I will say,
Um,
I actually do really appreciate the school staff in the book, especially the principal.
Yeah,
Um,
of office sticking up.
Yeah,
'cause,
there's a scene. I get why they cut this in the movie. I think Mike Flanagan's version actually will include this because of the casting of just of Matthew Lillard,
Yeah.
especially. But Chris Hargison's dad is a much bigger part in the book, and I think it's a line like alluding to it in the film of like Chris is very spoiled, and
yeah, because his dad's like a big shot lawyer.
yeah. And there's a conversation between the principal and the dad in the book that doesn't really come to much, but it's the dad essentially saying, like, you can't keep Chris out of the prom, I'll sue the school, and things like that. And the principal actually sticks up for Carrie and says, like, in schools we have in loco parentis, we are acting as a parent and guardian to Carrie White.
Mm.
Your child, what you're saying is happening is essentially flipped. Your child is an abuser, and if you sue us, we will counter-sue you right back. And and you don't hear from Sue's dad again, not Sue's, Chris's dad again for the rest of the book because he just drops it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I
And
think that's good characterization because you can understand,
Yeah,
like, obviously what environment Chris was growing up in and that she's
Yeah.
had everything handed to her.
Yeah.
She's had to live without any consequences.
and on the flip side,
even
I think
like her like stropping, like being like in the middle of the gym.
yeah.
yeah.
It is insane that you to this day see you could just slap a student.
Yeah.
This is the film that got Joey to teach it.
But even then, I think it's so interesting as well because it shows that like not everyone is against Carrie. Like obviously the movie has the head teacher fucking aggravatingly keep getting her name wrong.
Yeah.
But I like the idea that Carrie doesn't even realize that there are people behind the scenes sticking up for her.
Yeah.
But she just wouldn't know.
Yeah. So,
And-
well, like, with that climactic
Yeah.
scene when she's seeing everyone laugh, yeah, I interpret it more as just like,
Yeah.
this is just her perception of it. In the book, it is more
Yeah.
concrete in that everyone did laugh.
Yeah.
It's also kind of sadder just because she runs out
Yeah.
before going back and just being like, okay, time
No,
to fuck
time
shit.
to kill. Yeah.
Time to kill.
Yeah. I think especially like kind of like what you just said about the Chris, like, well, just the tantrums in the gym and things like that. I really like the aspect that in a lot of versions when Chris is like, she can't get rid of all of us, we stick together, and the rest of the girls just kind of dump her.
Yeah.
I think it just goes to show in her own way she is also kind of an outcast just because
It's
like,
just-
she's where she is because she's
it portrays the politics of school
Yeah.
in a kind of
Yeah.
accurate way. It was like, yeah, people have you back, but at the same time, it's more
Yeah, it's
people
like-
looking after themselves.
like we like you,
hate
but, you know.
I hated high school, but I really like certain high school movies, like specifically American ones.
Yeah.
Just sort of capture this like specific vibe, like Clueless.
Yeah.
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 Just like imagine if Carrie was in Clueless.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Carrie was in Mean Girls. Like
Yeah, she would have been played by Brittany Murphy.
Yeah,
Oh.
she would have. Yeah,
Oh, she would have been so good.
so
maybe
cool.
that's something we'll see in like the Rage.
I know. Okay,
Yeah.
I know. I'm going to recommend at the end.
One thing I do just want to say is Miss Collins. I love her performance. She's kind of sweet. Like obviously there's the bit where she's comforting Carrie in
Yeah.
the changing rooms. She shows her like she's beautiful, and then she confronts the other girls, just like I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
essentially.
No, she's very multifaceted in that she genuinely cares for her, but also she can understand how she could be manipulated in a certain way.
Yeah.
And the way she confronts them makes it seem like, oh, she doesn't actually
Yeah.
like think about this way, Carrie in this way, but she still does care about her.
Yeah,
I mean-
she's actually around the same age as all the other teenage girls.
well,
or
I was going to say in
teenagers.
the book she's a young teacher.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Like there's not much of an
She-
age gap between
I
them.
know she's playing in the Mike Flanagan shit series. It's Amber Midthunder, Naru from
Oh.
Prey.
Cool.
So
That's an incredible last name.
Midthunder, yeah.
No, that's really cool. Yeah, I really like her as a character and a teacher, and I think that, like you said, she looks out for Carrie, but also in the book especially, you get a bit more of a monologue of like, she can kind of understand where the other girls are coming from as well. Like she can
Yeah.
understand why, like Sue, for example, kind of gets swept up in it all.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think that's a really
like a
interesting
mob
thing.
Very
mentality.
pragmatic
Yeah.
approach, really.
I think that's one thing, weirdly, the musicals do really well. If you get a lot more Sue, and just her kind of dealing with the fact of, like, she did it. Like, she was also there, like, she also threw things at Carrie. But she's just...
And in a way, she's not directly responsible, obviously. She didn't put the bucket there, but she
No.
did set up her with
She set
Tommy.
the circumstances
She set
up.
the circumstances up.
Yeah.
One thing I really like as well is the scene where she's talking. Obviously, Miss Collins is talking to Carrie about her high school prom, just like You Never Forget It. Talking about her date. Do you pick up on anything in this scene?
I'm gonna be honest, I've kind of forgotten, so
Okay.
I don't think so.
Really? Okay. Well, she talks about her date, just like this football player. Anybody pick up on how tall he was?
6... Oh, fuck. Was he
6'7"?
6'7"?
As soon as I saw her, just like, Joe's going to bring this up.
I didn't bring it up, no, because it's in the past for me. I've moved on.
Yeah.
You just keep
You-
dragging me back.
You're no longer friends with 6'7"?
I still think it's funny, but, like... you know.
I think they should have like had like a pause for like applause, like in like
Didn't your
Spider-Man
vision?
No Way Home.
Didn't
I
your
saw a
vision?
I mean, I stood up and applauded. But
I saw a fucking clip. I can't remember. It was a YouTube short. It was something like Friends, that era, like a 90s sitcom or something. And it meant like that someone said like, oh, something 67, and all the comments were like, oh, even back then.
they
It's just
predicted
like,
6'7".
They did it.
but it's not even like, it's like 67. That's like a different thing.
Yeah, it's not
Right.
even correct.
That's the thing. Kids don't understand the correct way of using the joke.
Yeah.
That's why the kids irk me with it, where it's like, if they just repeat it, it's like, that's not a joke then. You've got
Anyway,
to
I just
you've got
wanna-
to time it.
I just want to find out, like, if I turn this into a short and I take that scene, you know, how famous are we gonna get? How many views is this
I think-
TikTok short that you're
Well,
watching right now
I
gonna get?
think the prices of 6-7 stocks have plummeted recently. So
We'd have to get it out really quick because the
Yeah.
great meme reset has begun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
New year, new memes.
yeah. So
What's gonna be the big meme of this year? Make
hopefully,
predictions.
I was going to say hopefully Trump dying will be funny, and then meme,
Yeah.
but you know,
The invasion of Venezuela.
why you touch wood for saver?
I stopped. I didn't touch it. That's why I was like, but then I was like, if I do touch it because I'm saying like, oh, he will die, is that going to
Yeah, touch it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sick? It's just a media notification.
Yeah.
It's like the death note, but it's just touching wood.
The wood note. The cheese touch.
One more thing another thing I want to say about the film. I love the fact that the place where the house was. First of all, the effect of the house going down, incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not even what they planned to do.
Really?
No. What they were going to do is, obviously they have that opening scene with the rocks coming down, but the rocks kind of look like rain when they
Okay.
shot it. So
Yeah,
they
makes
got
sense.
that's why they got rid of the opening prologue. You actually see in the house there are rocks coming through at the end, but you don't see any rocks hitting the house.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
That was the original
I just thought that was
plan.
debris.
No, it was meant to be rocks coming from the sky. They had a... What's the machine called?
catapult? I have
No,
no
like
idea.
one of those... Like, they have them in factories. Like,
Conveyor belt.
Conveyor belts, yeah. The conveyor belt jammed, and they were, like, losing, like, the darkness, and it was just like,
Yeah.
the sun's gonna come up soon. They were just like, fuck it, just, like, sink the house.
I think it's very effective.
It's very, like, Poltergeist before Poltergeist.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it is.
But what I love is that the for sale sign acts as a cross
Yeah.
that's been
Yeah.
defaced.
Yeah.
It's just like fucking hell. There's like 3 meanings. It's just saying for sale on the
Fucking
cross.
selling that plot of
I
land
know.
is so funny.
Oh my god. Just opened up a core memory. Okay,
Yeah.
before I'd seen Carrie, or any of the versions of Carrie, there was this BBC 3 show going back probably 14, 15 years at this point, hosted by Robert Webb. And it was like the greatest movie mistakes of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just like, you can see like a light in this shot, or there's the boom mic, or there's a boom mic, or there's this other mistake. The bit where Sue is walking to the house at the end. Did you notice anything with the cars in the background?
Was
No, I
was
didn't.
Christine in it?
No.
Was there a Plymouth Fury?
Wasn't the car that Carrie flips red?
Was it?
Yeah.
Because I was like, I'm gonna make a
I
Christian
also
joke.
really like the optical
yeah.
thing of flipping.
But no, I didn't notice. So they like.
So that's all shot backwards.
Was it?
So the cars are moving backwards and she's moving forward because they wanted it to be like this slow sort of walk. So they recorded her walking backwards, but obviously the cars in the background are going forwards. So it kind of adds to the dreamlike quality of that end.
Yeah.
But
I remember that being pointed out as like a movie mistake. And
that's funny.
That's my first thing of Carrie.
Because I didn't notice.
Yeah, no.
So like, it clearly was effective enough. It didn't even pick up on it.
Yeah.
No, how do you feel about that ending?
Which one?
Like the jump scare. So obviously I knew about it beforehand, well beforehand. And I don't know, having grown up now and seen this a couple times, I really just don't think it's necessary.
People cite it as like an influence on like Friday the 13th and other horror movies that end that way. But it was based on the ending of Deliverance.
Oh, was it?
In itself.
Oh, okay.
So, I can see the idea of like, I could get like metaphorical with it and say it's like, the idea of maybe it lives on, like Carrie lives on, like through Sue as well. And perhaps we'll talk about that when we do the Rage Carrie the two.
Funny you do mention that. She does come back.
I know, I remember. So maybe I could do something with that, but I don't know. I don't know how else I would choose to end it, I guess.
Yeah, no,
I think it's effective enough.
It feels very in line with like Is That the Way, which is sort of like mainly. Have you seen Blowout?
No.
Great movie. Check it out.
I've seen Mission Impossible.
Great movie.
I haven't.
Yeah, really good movie.
Worst part of it is Tom Cruise.
One thing with films when you are advertising them, we have already kind of discussed the trailers and the poster. I kind of want to go through the taglines because I really like the taglines of this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Obviously, the famous one is "If you have a taste for terror, take Carrie to the prom."
Yeah.
There's a lot of other ones. Just like one is just like, "If only you knew she had the power."
That's cool.
And there was one that was primarily used in radio ads. They got the radio ads on this Blu-ray, which is really cool. This movie is a chilling mix of American Graffiti and Psycho.
Oh.
Which it is.
Actually, no, that's kind of weirdly perfect.
Yeah. I mean, typically that's how you hear people say like, "Oh, it was pitched as this meets this."
Yeah.
So
that's weird. Those two wouldn't come to first mind, but once you point them out, that does actually make perfect sense.
Yeah. And obviously with the George Lucas connection and the Bernard Herrmann connection, it's all
there.
All connected.
It's all there.
Yeah. Speaking of the power, so who do you think would win a fight, Carrie or Abra?
Abra.
Yeah, you think Abra would beat Carrie?
What would Carrie's mind palace be?
Do you remember who Abra is?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, they're like different.
I know, their shinings are different. It's because the shining didn't exist.
Abra could like fucking
mind bend.
You could like mind fuck her from across the country.
That's true.
What could Carrie do?
I mean, Carrie. Yeah, I guess Carrie's got
throw
telekinesis.
some rocks.
I guess. Yeah. Okay. Maybe Abra would win then.
Yeah.
I've just seen a lot of people make jokes because of It Welcome to Derry. Obviously, Dick Halloran is in it. We might cut this if it's not relevant, but Dick Halloran's in it, and apparently he has a confrontation with Pennywise, but The Shining is relevant. And people are just like, so we all admit that Abra would just instantly kill Pennywise.
Do you know who would instantly kill Pennywise? That one kid from Salem's Lot.
Yeah, oh yeah, he would have.
2024.
Yeah.
The one with a body count.
Wham! Yeah. Carrie's got the shine.
I guess.
It isn't really the shine, but it's the shine.
We'll talk about it when we do Dark Tower, I don't know. Or a fucking
I mean I guess the shine if the shining is like whatever.
Pretty much it's just whatever.
It's just a mystical power. It's I don't know. It's an excuse for them to do stuff the same way as like in like Marvel comics. They're just like, I can't think of an excuse for why they've got powers. They're mutants.
Yeah, that's true actually.
I guess.
Yeah. It's just she has an unexplained ability.
Yeah.
And it's just
just all girls can do that.
She got bit by a radioactive period.
Haven't we all?
I just want to shout out this release. I've kind of already talked about it, but the Arrow video release that I've got here, which was kindly bought for me by I can't remember.
I think it was both of us.
It was both of us because we wanted to pay for all the graphic work.
Okay, so I remember you each gave me this and another movie that we're going to be covering.
I think we just collectively decided that it was like
These two. Okay.
It's from both are from both of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we do Shawshank as well, or was that a different one?
No, one we're going to be covering in a few weeks.
Oh, okay. I don't remember.
I-
Sure.
I
I remember what one it
Oh,
was.
yep.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
I don't want to give it away just yet. I mean, the restoration on this, the 4K looks beautiful. It's stunning. The special features are so extensive. Like, there's literal hours on here. And I haven't even watched all of them. I've got one special feature that I'm going to be watching next time because it's about the comparisons between all the versions of Carrie that exist. But yeah, like from the goddamn audio commentary, which is incredible. I really want to know more about those two and read their books at some point. It's got like the TV alternate title sequence. It's got the radio ads. It's got the documentary on the musical. It's got individual documentaries on editing, on casting, on acting, directing, writing, music, and all of them are like 30 minutes each, if not longer.
In the age that we live in, which is you're 90% sure that a thing is not going to have special features, it is lovely that they have these things.
So this was really, really great, and I don't have too many Arrow video stuff at home. I've got a few. I've got a decent collection of Arrow stuff.
Yeah.
I will definitely be picking up their Salem's Lot when that comes out in a few months, which they recently announced.
Arrow, if you want to sponsor us, we'll shout.
It's a shame you've already done your Arrow episode. Of
Honestly,
Flyers.
damn.
But most importantly, is the menu as good as like an old DVD? Where it's like it has like a full animation.
It's not like that.
Should do. It should open with like you turn on the DVD and it's like you're walking into the prom and then you see like the chairs and then all the options.
I like the menu on this. It's not like that.
That's a shame. We lost that.
But there's so much stuff on there.
There should be a mini game on there.
Who knows? There could be like an Easter egg.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I know for our media releases, we're gonna go ape shit.
No, I used to burn like my own like home movies onto DVD using like Windows DVD Maker back.
Hell yeah,
that was so much fun making those. So, but no, Arrow. I hope you do every Stephen King because these are so good.
I will say, because I've said about how I would love to have a full set of the Stephen King VHSs, and I'll probably get the modern ones on Blu-ray, the ones that don't have VHSs. But that's one, and hopefully the Salem's Lot one, where I'm like, even though I've already got a physical version of that, I've even got Salem's Lot on Blu-ray. I could see myself picking that up.
Yeah, especially I don't have this as the special edition, but I've got Return of the Living Dead, which is just a great movie.
Yeah,
it's really fun. But that comes with a hardback case, a book. It includes the comic book Revenge of the Living Dead. It's got a poster. They go all out. Arrow are one of my favorites.
Nice.
Yeah, each Criterion.
Yeah. I also really like my Hellraiser Arrow.
Yeah, that one looks cool.
Yeah.
Did you get the box set or was it just the one?
No, I've just got the steelbook for the first Hellraiser.
I like the one where it's like the trilogy. I'd like that one.
Yeah. They've got different versions now. They got the tetralogy. Box.
I don't know if I'd go that deep.
Yeah. Oh, you don't like Hellraiser Bloodlines?
Well, I don't know yet. I just haven't heard the best things.
Have you seen Hellraiser 3?
Not yet.
I think you'd like it. There's a Cenobite with CDs in his head.
That's in that one?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, I know the second one is... we're getting off topic.
Yeah. We'll do a Hellraiser episode.
Sure, why not?
Fuck it, why not at some point?
Yeah, we'll do like... After this, we'll do like the Clive Barker podcast.
Sure, why not?
Fuck yeah.
Now we got to go into the musical section.
Yeah. Story time.
Led by Joe.
Yeah, so...
Joe, you need to think of a jingle off the top of your head to denote this is a brand new segment.
Oh, wait. Clap with me.
Not you. You're supposed to sing.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, okay, wait. Yeah.
I don't know what's... you can't put me on the spot like this.
We're talking about musicals. Joe's musicals. There you go.
That was really good.
You're welcome.
I was tempted for a second. I was just before you started singing. I was like, I could just sing the opening song.
Is this segment ever going to come back?
You never know.
don't think so. But it'd be wild if it did. It'd be wild if there was 2 Stephen King musicals.
Here's the musical adaptation of Needful Things.
So, saying about adaptations of Carrie, I've seen like most, not the foreign language ones, but I've seen the 2002 one. I've seen the 2013 one. I don't remember when I found out that the Carrie musical existed. Definitely since COVID. I think I saw a clip of the bucket pour on like TikTok or something. It was just like, what is this? And from there, I fell down a rabbit hole a little bit, especially because I was a fan of Glee, although Glee never did Carrie the musical. But I know that Riverdale did an episode.
Did they?
Yeah, they did 2 musical episodes, one on Heathers, which we've seen, and one on Carrie the musical.
Yeah,
which
that's
is
a deep cut.
Yeah, really wild actually. I've seen clips from it. It's not good, but I don't like Riverdale, so who am I to judge?
You meant Carrie the musical.
End of segment.
End of segment. It was shit.
No, so I wanted to speak about it. I wasn't sure when I would speak about it, whether it be this episode or the next episode where we go through the rest of the adaptations. But the fact that the book for the musical is done by Larry Cohen, I thought I might as well, seeing as it's written by the same guy. I want to shout out a book that I got last year when we decided we were going to do the podcast, but before we changed it to Christine, Viv and I went on holiday somewhere.
Yeah, we went to a book festival.
Yeah, we went to a book festival. We went in a queer bookshop and just randomly found this book. It's called Out for Blood, A Cultural History of Carrie the Musical by Chris Adams. Fascinating. This is where I got most of this information. And this segment's basically just going to be telling you a bit of that with the history.
Yeah, you've been like sprinkling information about it to us for like a while.
Yeah.
Like, each bit has been fascinating.
It is. It's a very fascinating story. So yeah, book by Lawrence T. Cohen, music by Michael Gore, and lyrics by Dean Pitchford. Michael Gore and Dean Pitchford just come off of Oscar-winning. They're an Oscar-winning duo. They just came off of the success of Fame.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, and it was their idea to work on Carrie as a musical, and they then met with Cohen after the success of the movie, and pitched it to him.
Was this in the 70s?
He really liked it, yeah.
Or was this like on the 80s?
Early 70s, because they started. They self-funded a 2-week workshop in New York in August 1984, and by that point they'd been writing it for a little bit.
Okay. And
it wouldn't premiere until February 13th, 1988, which was the first ever performance at the Royal Shakespeare Theatre in Stratford-upon-Avon. So, yeah, just to talk about that 2-week workshop in New York, it didn't necessarily go well. They really struggled to decide on what they wanted to do with the Carrie as a musical. They just they jumped around to the point where there is stuff in the original Stratford-upon-Avon performance that was immediately cut, and they completely reorchestrated it between shows.
Do you know, like, what was there any major stuff?
Yes, yeah, I'll talk about it as we go through. But yeah, talking about that workshop, a grainy audio recording of the workshop quickly leaked, which was a really early example of bootlegging, which is when a musical, because of course theatre is a lot more exclusive than movies. It's more expensive. Runs can be so limited, especially Carrie's run, which was like 3 days. And this show basically only survived because of the bootlegs that were made of it. So yeah, an audio recording leaked of that bootleg, which would sort of drive up hype about, hang on, they're doing a fucking musical about Stephen King's Carrie. That just doesn't seem like it would work. The show would be trialed in the UK, which was a very risky choice because it was a very turbulent time for British theatre.
Why?
Margaret Thatcher. Yeah. Just undercutting.
Full stop.
Yeah, it's pretty much says itself. It just undercut a lot of theatre.
Hey, without Margaret Thatcher, you wouldn't have Billy Elliot.
It's true. It's a pretty good musical. We wouldn't have Tom Holland.
No.
And
we wouldn't have Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Ever.
And whatever Stephen King adaptation Tom Holland did. The other Tom Holland. It was a joke. It was a joke. So,
Thinner?
I think so, yeah. So fans of the Royal Shakespeare Theatre were not happy when it was announced that Carrie the Musical would be opening there. They said that the theatre was being prostituted to such a pulpy show.
God damn.
People were immediately against the idea of Carrie the Musical.
Sounds like British.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Cohen said there was a negative press before anyone had heard a single lyric or a single note of music from the show. They rehearsed for 12 weeks, which was double what was normal for a new musical. And the Stratford production was not well received, although the cast was praised.
Yeah.
Yeah, the girl who played Carrie, Lindsay Hatley, was called like a rising star. But yeah, the reviews were immediately terrible. There's one, I wrote down a review. Kicking a leg, thrusting a buttock here and a groin there. Carrie is the Bedazine whore of Thatcher's Britain.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So yeah. Then they moved it to Broadway. So yeah, immediately failed to the point where they reorchestrated the entire show before Broadway. And it was an extremely expensive production. So it cost around $7 to $8 million. And for example, at the time, Cats was being produced. And that cost $4.5 million. So double Cats.
I know a link between Cats and Carrie the musical.
Yeah, that.
Really?
No, another one.
Another one. Two links?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's a chain.
So, ooh, I get to tell Joe something about a musical he doesn't know.
I don't think I know this.
Betty Buckley.
I recognize the name.
She is Miss Collins in the movie.
Yeah.
Is Margaret White.
Margaret White.
She played Grisabella,
Really?
the glamour cat.
Ah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Ah, that's really interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah, fair play.
You must feel over the moon right now.
Yeah, kind of.
Would you hate it if I was just like, knew that actually?
I knew
Just
that.
didn't think it was relevant.
No, I mean,
No, I didn't know that. That's
no,
interesting.
I mean, if you did, that's fine.
No,
Yeah.
thank you for telling me that.
Turn the recording on.
Muppets Carrie, Sissy Spacek is normal. Everyone else is a Muppet. She destroys them. Who would be the mother?
Miss Piggy, the mother.
Miss Piggy, the mother?
Kermit is Tommy Ross. He gets bucketed.
Gonzo could be John Travolta.
Yeah.
Who would be Chris? There's not that many
Also
words.
Miss Piggy.
Animal.
Oh, Miss Piggy would be Chris. It'd be
Yeah.
so funny for her to be like, pig's blood for a pig. Good luck editing that in.
Yeah, no, just like we're quiet then. Ah!
Yeah. We took a break and we
cooked too hard.
cooked
Yeah.
too close to the sun. So thank you for telling me about the Cats fact, Karen. So the UK and US production, the entire score was overhauled. The script was
Really?
changed. Yeah, it was like
Damn.
that big a change. There were technical problems throughout the show. The first showing in New York didn't even open its doors until 45 minutes after the show's start time. Yeah. So, disastrous. The main issue was the blood spill.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was a liquid, it would often clog the mic or blind the actress. There was a lot of ways they tried to change that. They mainly with viscosity, but it was like they'd make it too thick and it would be too slow and like caramel. They would also make it too liquidy, if that makes sense, so it would just splatter way too much.
Yeah.
And, it was a very ambitious thing to do. In the original Stratford-upon-Avon production, the one that I watched a bootleg of, they didn't even have it connected to a rope, and I've seen other versions do this, where Chris and Billy just run up and pour it on her, which I actually think can kind of work, because it's like a lot more personal, but obviously it doesn't have the scale of like it pouring down from above.
You get the benefit of like having to be more. You could be more abstract with theatre, and it's still sort of playing out. But I can understand wanting to. Like,
I
hit
thought they
certain
would
beats.
use like
I've seen other. So, Carrie is
like
extremely.
confetti.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, Carrie is extremely popular in high school productions. Obviously, teenage cast, especially after the reintroduction of the show in 2012, which I'll talk about in a minute. And I've seen a bunch of different examples of the blood pour. I've seen one where it's just a red sheet, so it just completely encompasses her, and then they do a costume change behind it, and then when the sheet moves, it's
kind of how it shows in the trailer.
where it comes under. I saw confetti as well. My favorite, I think, was actually confetti mixed with a costume change. So they had a tearaway dress of like the white dress over it, and then a bloody dress underneath. So the confetti comes down, and they tear the dress away while Carrie is under it. So then when the confetti settles,
that's
she's
probably
in
the
it.
best way.
I think that was my favorite. But yeah, there's the 2012 off-Broadway production I watched did have the bucket pour, and it was quite effective. How they got around the issues was the actress had had like a hanky in her dress that she then like used to like clear up the mic and stuff. But because of her acting, it looks more like Carrie is trying to regain a bit of composure before she loses it.
Right.
So it's quite effective. But because of the issues with
that could be like a danger on
that's
set,
already a danger. And also, it basically is only on her head then. She doesn't really get any on the dress.
Wow.
So,
and like for like that scene, you'd want it to be like drenched.
yeah, and a lot of them, most, if anything, then have it where one of the opening lyrics of the song is called The Destruction, and it's Carrie just rambling, basically reprising like every song at once because she's just in this scramble, and she reprises the line of God gave Eve the curse. I can't remember what is it like. God made Eve from Adam's rib, and Eve was weak, and God gave Eve the curse of something, the curse of blood. And when she says that, usually they make the lights red anyway, so it's like it gives the illusion. But yeah, it's interesting to see how especially high schools get around it, because it's very ambitious for like a school to do. To talk about the music itself, so rather than pre-show warnings, which, you know, they usually have of like, the show's about to start, please knock your phones off, and, you know, all that. The show started with a drum beat, slowly getting louder, until there was a large boom and the lights were completely cut out. And there were reports like the audience would like scream at the time. Even in one of the theaters it was produced at, they painted the walls black to make the area around it even darker, which is a lot considering the show closed so quickly.
I know.
Yeah, so a lot of the songs from the original production were completely altered between shows and just outright cut then for the modern interpretation. Most of the main songs that remained between the 80s version of the 2012 are Carrie songs and Margaret's songs. So Margaret's style is based on Eva Perón from Evita, and kind of mixed in with that like vibrato and the operatic style of Christian like theatre and organ music, which I think is very effective. I think that
should have done Christian rock.
That would be cool. If I was going to shout out any song, it's one of the first songs I think they wrote for the show, and the song is called And Eve Was Weak. And I think that's like a very effective storytelling song. So if I was going to like recommend songs to listen to from this, it would be the one I sent on our chat, which was the original opening song, which I'll talk about in a minute because it's insane. And then it would be And Eve Was Weak, and then The Destruction.
Is there a specific recording you prefer?
I'll talk about the pros and cons of the ones I watched. And then in terms of Carrie's songs, Carrie in the original didn't have much in terms of music. They definitely added more for the modern version. She has an I Want song, which is her first song, which is just called Carrie, which I personally don't like as a song. I can see what they were trying to do, but it just doesn't work for me personally. And then the Destruction is very, like I said, she reprises every song in sort of a sporadic panic. And it's effective, but it's a lot to take on, which I think works for the show. One thing I found interesting is Carrie originally had a song that I researched this because I read the book, and I didn't know that the version I was going to watch from Stratford would have this. Carrie has a song, I can't remember the name. I've got it here somewhere. I'm Not Alone, which was cut because it's you don't see Carrie use her powers until the end of Act 1. And how they show it is really interesting. She basically, there's a tiny house set that gets lifted, and there's a fire underneath it.
Okay.
It's just a lot, very ambitious, kind of cool.
Do they not do the whole period scene then?
They do the period scene.
But they don't do like the light.
They don't do the light, and they don't do, like the modern version does.
All the ashtray.
No, the modern version does, but the original version, I guess they wanted to save it, which is a weird choice, but okay. And she has a song in Act 2 where she dances with her prom clothes, and they move on their own. So like the shoes do a tap dance, and she dances with her dress that they cut because they were like, oh, it removes the tension. But I think it's like really cute and really humanizes her. And it's so nice to see her use her powers for like something nice.
Yeah.
But
instead of just throwing kids off their bikes.
Yeah, exactly. So talking about the Destruction, like the actual set of it, the original used lasers and sparklers. But many since, because that was a fucking nightmare. They've even said you're not allowed to shoot lasers into the audience anymore, but at the time they were, so they would just like fire off lasers everywhere. Which is cool spectacle wise, but it's definitely like
not a bit much.
Not manageable.
I got blinded at the Carrie.
yeah.
Stratford
And all,
upon
like-
Avon.
And all I got was a shitty t-shirt.
Yeah.
Are there any other Stephen King books or films that you think would really do well as a musical?
Bag of Bones.
Dance with the
I
tree.
mean, I guess Life of Chuck Big says because there's already dancing in it.
That's true, actually.
But
Cell.
Cell would be pretty cool.
President of the Internet. Can have like an I Want song.
Yeah. The Shining, just because I want to see Wendy get a really good ballad.
I know that they have theatre productions because there's one of Shawshank Redemption at
Yeah.
the moment. I don't know if there's other ones.
I don't know if there's any other musicals, at least now, not to this scale.
Yeah.
Because people will say Carrie bombed, which is true, it did. It closed within 3 days.
Did it have enough time to bomb?
Well, yeah, because it had 16 previews and 5 official performances, and it made so little money for how expensive it was, they immediately closed it.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it did have an immediate audience, so the final performance was met with a standing ovation that continued after the lights of the theatre went off, and they had to start asking people to leave.
Damn, literal, like, Cannes Film
Yeah,
Festival.
yes, 15-minute standing ovation.
Yeah. The thing is, in Cannes, when you do that, you don't even like that movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just have to.
Yeah.
Admittedly, I was at the world premiere of Animal Farm, the new Andy Serkis one, and sadly, I did have to participate in the
That's really sad.
standing ovation at the end. I didn't do it for long, but
That's really
it was
sad.
kind of like, well, everyone's doing it.
It's the
Imagine
social
being-
etiquette.
Imagine being
Yeah.
the one person, like, say if it was Sandy Circus in that, where, like, your movie ends and no one claps.
Just
All I'll say is Andy Serkis is lucky I was at least 20 feet away.
nice cast.
If I was any closer,
on site.
On site.
yeah, I was like, if I see him like around the rest of the festival.
Yeah.
Give my condolences for Venom.
So I just want to just run through some references in pop culture because it's a very big one, Carrie.
Okay.
I haven't seen Dairy Girls, but it does play in Dairy Girls.
It does. I completely forgot, but it does.
What, the film?
No, they do the bucket scene.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I can say this one, but it plays. a
Oh,
role
yeah, I
in,
saw that. I did see that. I was like, that's very cool.
I don't know what it is.
I assume it's a drag thing.
Yeah,
I hope it is.
yeah. They reference it in White Chicks.
Awesome.
Do they?
Um, yeah, basically, if anybody gets covered in like paint, it's like a
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true. I
reference.
guess.
They do it in goddamn My Little Pony.
Wait, which
What the
on Friendship is Magic? Oh, that's cool. If only Val was here, she'd be able to chip
Yeah.
in.
Yeah. A lot of like times if like a hand comes out of the grave, it's said to be like a Carrie reference.
That could be a bit of a.
Yeah.
Bit pushing the other way.
There's a prom scene in Cabin Fever 2, which is basically just Carrie. It's like
Damn.
straight up just Carrie. Freddy versus Jason. Somebody wears like enormous hat.
Does she?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Friday the 13th Part 7 is specifically the idea of just like, what if Carrie fought Jason? So that's why there's a girl in Friday the 13th 7 with like telekinetic powers.
I have never considered that.
Yeah. Scary Movie, the gym teacher is a parody of Miss Collins.
Yeah, makes sense.
Obviously, they do reference it in Scream. It's in the Hungover games.
I've not seen that one.
I feel as though those general types of movies, they don't count.
The movie movies.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
movie movies.
Yeah. But she's one of them. She's one of
Okay.
the people competing in the Hungover games. Two Broke Girls.
Two broke girls. Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, there we go. Talk
We'll
about
be
that.
getting to that in our
Yeah.
other podcast soon.
And also, there's a movie called. Have you heard of the movie Prom Night?
Yes, I have.
There's a sequel called Hello Mary Lou Prom Night 2. And it's about a character with telekinetic powers who something happens to her at the prom.
Well,
So I guess we might have to talk about that next week. Next episode, really? Damn, how the tables have turned.
I know. No, it's easier to mix up.
Also, The Fury, a Brian De Palma film. It's about a girl with telekinesis, and it's also got Amy Irving in it.
Oh, there you go. He just has a niche that he likes to fulfill every now and again.
Yeah.
Oh, fair. I don't know about that.
Also, there's apparently a shot, Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, where they're playing a drinking game and she begins to hallucinate. that's specifically meant to reference the shot from Carrie.
Oh, the kaleidoscope effect?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh, okay. I could see that.
And, like you said, Riverdale. And
Yeah.
Glee.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't mention it.
Well, that's the only thing with Glee is you'll never guess what fucking tribute episode the bucket happens in with Glee. Just like what band they were tributing.
I have no
The Beatles.
Queen.
Yeah. It happens in the second part of the Beatles tribute episode, which is the episode before they do the tribute episode to the actor who died. It's really fucking weird.
I guess you
Yeah.
could see them getting thrown with like what are they called? The drink.
Punch.
Yeah, it's slushy, which I think is actually very effective.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Well, I could see them getting whenever they get slushy. That's
Yeah,
always
yeah, but they,
reference.
like,
So episode 1 is a ref.
They've got the bucket of slushy above her pouring on her, and it is very effective. It's just so disjointed because there's no other reference to Carrie in that episode. It's just the Beatles music, and then they sing like, "Hey Jude," I think, at her, and it's just like, what the fuck is going on? To the point where I forgot about it until we started preparing for this episode. I was like, oh yeah, fucking Glee did this.
Yeah.
But yeah, perfect time. Carrie the musical was off Broadway before that episode was done. They fully could have done a song from it, but the Beatles bring in more, I guess.
Damn. Ryan Murphy just
Another crime.
really doesn't know how to do it.
Yeah. God, I want Ryan Murphy to adapt a Stephen King adaptation.
Mhm.
I don't think it would be good. I think it would be terrible, but I think it would be
What could he
entertaining.
do? Doom a key
Yeah, I don't know what He's about. Sundog.
from a Buick 8? I don't know. He's got another show out now.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
Oh yeah, the substance ripoff.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what it is.
It's a substance ripoff.
Yeah.
Last thing I saw was the Kim Kardashian, like, girl boss lawyers one.
Yeah, it's another person who doesn't stop working. Ryan Murphy.
Yeah. Maybe he should.
Yeah, well, maybe he should.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anything else to discuss?
We've got a new segment.
We've got a new
We
segment.
do.
We don't know what it's called yet,
Uh,
but it's going to be where we just recommend some things. Does anybody want to recommend?
Recommendations.
recommendation. Oh damn, you got it.
Oh, is that actually good?
I actually quite
I
like
feel
that.
like Karen doesn't
Come
like
on.
it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's good, but let's go with it.
Recommendation.
For today, it's recommendations until
Until
one
we
of you
change it.
think of it something better.
What are you recommending?
What are you recommending, Joe?
Well, seeing as I spent a long time talking about a musical, I'm not recommending Carrie the musical. Like, no. But
No,
we-
it has
we
to be
saw-
something not
Yeah, exactly. That's what
not
I mean.
Stephen King.
Yeah, yeah.
Just something else.
So,
We've got other things we enjoy.
what if I just fully recommended another Stephen King? No. Viv and I today got to see the original West Side Story movie in cinemas. So I'd recommend seeing either version of that. I'm going to rewatch the Steven Spielberg version soon, maybe tonight. Depends how tired I feel after this.
Yeah.
Maybe tomorrow. But they're both fantastic films. And yeah, I'd recommend them highly.
Caveat.
Caveat. First one got a lot of brown face in it. Second one has Ansel Elgort in it. If you don't know why that's a bad thing, come back next episode.
I'm recommending, because I was talking about Brittany Murphy earlier, I recommend Uptown Girls. It's in a similar vein to like Clueless and such.
Ooh, nice.
It's a nice sort of period. I just love Brittany Murphy. We were watching when we were watching like the videos up in my kitchen. There was like a small clip of her, and I was like, "Oh fuck, I love Brittany Murphy so much." She's great now. It's got not Dakota Fanning. When she was very young.
What was it? Uptown Girls.
Uptown Girls.
Because I'm going to make the effort
Brittany
to...
Murphy
Yeah.
in Happy Feet.
There you
Showing
go.
and cinemas.
She's happy.
She's in Happy Feet.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
she's also in one of the Futurama movies.
Oh, okay, fab.
So just to say, I want to make the effort to whatever you two recommend, if I haven't already engaged with it, to engage with it. So
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm going to add that to my list.
Well, now that you both recommended films, I'm like, do I go for something different?
I was thinking of doing a book, but if I recommended this book on the first go, I feel pretentious. So you go.
No, you can be pretentious. I'm
I'll
gonna
do,
recommend.
I'll do it next time.
I'm gonna recommend a movie.
You're gonna recommend a
fine.
movie?
Yeah.
All right, we'll go weirder next time.
We're movie
Yeah.
people, and
I'll recommend.
we
like
talk
a
about
soup
movies
next
on the
time.
podcast. It makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, people like movies.
So I finally watched a movie that I've owned on Blu-ray for like 6 years at this point. It came out about 10 years ago. I finally watched it, The Hateful Eight. I really enjoyed it. Yes, Quentin likes that word. But
But we run a Stephen King podcast, and Stephen also likes that word. So
yeah,
you know,
but he makes up for it by not doing any feet shots. Maybe one foot shot.
Also, he isn't in it.
I found out he's the narrator.
Shit.
Yeah.
All right, fine.
But I didn't know it was him when I was watching it.
Well,
so,
there you
That's
go.
good then.
but yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. It feels. I know
It's
I
kind
know
of one of his underappreciated ones now, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny to say, like, it's kind of funny that, like, not too long ago, I was just like, I'm not really a theatre person, whereas it does kind of feel a bit like a play.
Yeah, I think there's a
In a
difference
way.
between theatre and plays.
Yeah, like, obviously, I don't think could really do Hateful Eight as a play, the way the story unfolds. I think the cinematic language is a key part of it. But it's a beautiful movie shot on, like, super widescreen, Ultra Panavision 70. The music by Ennio Morricone is beautiful.
Oh, when I was away on holiday, we kept going to this spaghetti western themed shop, and they
that's
had like
cool.
a bunch of Sergio Leone like film posters. And I was like,
Nice.
fuck, I really want to listen to some Ennio Morricone, so I just downloaded his stuff and listened to it whilst I was
Yeah,
reading.
he's great.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
Yeah, I like westerns. I've said this to you recently. I've watched a lot of westerns with my granddad. I just don't know which ones I've watched.
Ah, fair.
They've usually got John Wayne in them, but you know he did a lot of those.
yeah.
Also, I really love the aesthetic of like the winter
Yeah.
western. Well, I guess with that, we don't have any emails to go through. If we do have emails, that'll be a segment. You can send in the emails to allhailthekingpodcast@gmail.com. You can also get in touch with us on the socials. We're on TikTok and Instagram at All Hail the King Podcast. We're on YouTube at Pod One Out Studios, where you can find another one of our lovely podcasts hosted by Viv and Joe.
Yeah, and relatively soon we'll do another one, because why not?
Yeah.
You can never have too many podcasts.
Yeah. You don't want to say what your podcast is?
Still first time flyers. We talk about TV show pilots.
Yeah. And we're just starting doing
Well, we're in the middle of talking about the CW DC shows, so like Arrow, The
yeah,
Flash,
because we just
Supergirl.
finished in Nicktoons, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm
So-
forcing Viv to watch superhero stuff.
Also, if you want to hear more Garen, he's on the SpongeBob episode.
I was on the
Yeah,
SpongeBob episode, which was last time.
Yeah.
Arrow would have come out yesterday by the time this goes up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, you can leave us a 5-star review on your podcast platform of choice. If you do just want to leave 5 stars, that's great. If you want to send a little message, we'll also read them out on the show. Just share the love. If you like this podcast, share it with people who you might think also enjoy it.
I told my mum I do this.
Oh, wow, you
Yeah.
came out?
You finally
Yeah.
told her?
I finally came out to her. She was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then we had food.
I didn't talk to my mum about it over Christmas.
Didn't you?
No, my mum doesn't know I do it.
Oh,
So,
okay.
do your siblings know?
My siblings know. Well, yeah, my sisters know. My brother's got like the memory of a goldfish, so
Well, if he does listen, he's going to be offended for a split second that you
Yeah.
said that.
Yeah, he'll get 3 hours in and he's like, hey!
he's not gonna listen.
Okay.
But we're gonna be back in 2 weeks. This is a bi-weekly podcast, and that time we're gonna be doing 3 more adaptations of
It's going to
Carrie.
be absolutely chock full of Carrie.
Well, 2
Yeah.
more adaptations of Carrie and one thing that's Carrie adjacent.
Yeah. Maybe
So-
it'll be like a Return to Salem's Lot. Maybe it'll be a surprising treat.
Yeah. So we're going to do The Rage Carrie 2 from 1999, the 2002 TV movie miniseries,
Yeah.
whatever it
Much.
is, and the Chloe Grace Moretz one that Joe loves so much he's got the book.
It's
Yeah.
true. Maybe I'll think that one's better. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who
I don't know. I
knows?
haven't rewatched any of these.
You just love
so-
Ansel Elgort, apparently, so
Yeah.
fuck you.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Cut that.
We would cover the Mike Flanagan one, but it's not out yet.
Yeah.
But Mike, if you are listening, go to that email I said earlier, allhailthekingpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Send us the work prints.
Yeah.
We'll
Please
do it.
do, yeah.
Yeah, we'll watch them for you. We're
Yeah.
willing. Cool beans.
Any final words? Anything you want to plug?
Smorgasbord.
Bye.
Goodbye.